to that emotional Kings win over the Warriors. That, to me, just kind of summed up what Kings fans are all about. So I'm sitting in the media section in that fourth quarter. The arena starts pulsating. Defense. And there's this older gentleman, Drapes, that comes up the stairs from the lower bowl. And, that's a little bit of a hike if you're depending on how far you got to come. And this guy was he might have been 90, and he had a cane, and he was laboring. And so he was really having a hard time coming up the stairs. So he gets to the top of where the media is, and one of the ushers says, "Oh, here, sir, have a seat." So he ends up sitting down. They bring that guy over to a seat, and he sits like 3 seats over from where I am. And I'm keeping an eye on him because I'm kind of worried about the guy because he, is just kind of folded over in his chair. And so the game's going on there, and, back and forth in the fourth quarter, great fourth quarter. And then again, the crowd starts chanting, "Defense, defense." And I hear this, "Defense, defense." And I look over, and the OG was all folded up, but he was in as much intensity as you could possibly about defense. And to be that, there is a great Kings fan, and that's what being a Kings fan is all about. That's what it was about last night, Drapes. A great night. You must have had a blast doing the call.
Yeah, I had a blast on the call, man. Took a lot of energy out of me. They were down 17 at the half, and I wasn't panicking, Whitey. I said, all right, we're good, because if you remember earlier this week or maybe even last week, I don't feel like this team ever lets go of the rope. They never tap out. Some nights it might not be your night or anything like that, but I felt like these guys had a push in them. And that third quarter was magical, man. Holding Golden State to only one three-pointer in that third quarter really changed the game. I will say, so you were at the game the entire time.
Yes, sir.
You didn't go home and watch the broadcast or anything.
I didn't see it, no. So I hope I didn't miss anything.
All right. I see how it is.
Did you work it in? Did you use it?
I did it twice.
Oh, yes.
I did crash and dash twice, big fella.
Nice.
I got to see it. I got to see the proof.
See, you big ballers are at the game sitting courtside and everything like that. You're not at home watching, but I used it once in the first half and once in the second half. Just for you, man. I worked it in it. I don't even get no credit. I thought people would have blew up your phone, all your mentions and everything. Nothing. Not a thing.
Wow. How did it feel? Did it work for you?
No, it was terrible. It was terrible. It crashed it down. It was cringeworthy. It's kind of cringy. I said it and I was like, ooh.
Then why'd you do it twice?
I'm giving you a shout out.
Okay. All right.
Showing you some love, big fella. I risk looking like a fool to help the people I care about, So.
It didn't feel comfortable, or what was the context, or what didn't feel right?
I'm not a crash and dash kind of guy, Jay. That's not my lingo.
I got you.
That's it. That's not in my book, my repertoire, if you will. And so,
he's a rip and run. He's a grab and go guy.
Right. Yeah. You gotta do the alliteration, man. That's what it gotta be. But I did it for you, man, and I appreciate shocked that. Nobody told you I did it. That's messed up.
Yeah. Did you work in any? He made that from Folsom or any of that last night?
I did. I said Folsom. That's my people. Those are my people.
I know you said you were
going to DeMar DeRozan three-pointer. Remember DeMar? About like 27. Yeah, I used it on that one.
Yeah, the as great as the game was, I think the highlight for me last night, it was a great night, might have been meeting Jay's father. That was tremendous.
Oh, you met Jay's dad, huh?
Yeah.
Jay didn't bring him around me. I don't know why not, but he, Jay knows where I sit. He knows where I'm at.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pops just had like a severe knee situation. He had a bone off the muscle, so he had to get surgery. So where the tickets were, where we got the tickets last night, he barely was able to even make it down near. We were 108A.
Yeah.
And so like that was about as low as he could go. Sat there for a quarter, and he looked over. Was like, "Hey, son, we got to go back up to the top. I got to stretch my leg." And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So we were probably 10 feet from Drapes, but I couldn't get Drapes was on the court by the time we sat down. He was doing work, and I almost went over there and crashed the set.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to get him in trouble. It was cool. And then he went straight to work. And then by the time the game was over, like the buzzer ended, the beam hadn't even been lit. And I hit Drapes, and Drapes was like, "Yeah, man, I'm on 50. I'm on the highway 50 already.
I don't hang
I'm
around,
already past the Sac State, man.
I'm out of there, dude. I got things to do. I was out of there. Jay called me too.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, where you at? You out? And I was like, dude, I was halfway home by that time.
Yeah, I said you were by the outlets.
Before the beam is even 30 feet in the air, huh?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't even lit.
Go.
Yeah, they hadn't even touched the button yet.
Yes. Hey, man, I had a long day today, so I had to go home and pack. I had things to do last night. If Jay would have told me beforehand, I would have stayed, but he didn't. It's all good.
Yeah. I've had some followers from when I was doing stuff on the Warrior Station, and then last night, speaking of the beam on X, I posted, De'Aaron punching the button. And I said, this is for the Warrior fans who left early, because there was like a mass exodus at one point with a minute some left. They're streaming out of the building. So I lost a few followers because of that. But that's, and I sent it to Bonte too, as you know, Drapes.
I did.
Yeah.
So you were out there trolling last night, basically.
I'm just reporting. Just reporting on what's going on out there. That's all. What a great game. What a great night. And, we talked to a couple people yesterday from the Bay, really smart, knowledgeable people. And they both mentioned, anytime a new coach comes over, a lot of times when you got a new coach, there's a bump. And I understand that. I'm sure that's how it looks from afar. But if you're watching this team and watch what they did again last night, this ain't no new coach bump. It's a lot more than that, Drapes.
Yeah, and I hear people saying that, Whitey, and I'm like, well, how long does that usual so-called bump last? If I remember correctly, the Cavs got a bump in 2016 when Ty Lue took over for David Blatt, and you know what happened that season. So he led them to a championship. So I'll take if that's the bump, I'll take it. I think now what you're saying though too is we talk about what are the Kings' identity. Like it seems like they found themselves. They found out what it's going to take to win basketball games. And Doug talked about it yesterday. He said give the players credit, for turning this around. And I never felt, even though we weren't playing well, even though the Warriors were hitting every three, I never felt like we didn't have another run in us. And so when I think of the Kings' identity, I think of a team that is never out of it, a team that still believes. Remember, what did you had a word for it, a phrase, because it was the We Believe Warriors back in the day. Is it a why not us? Kings, I think we said, or something.
Yeah. And I know you used a word this week, and I think I used the same word last week that really aptly describes what's going on, and they are absolutely relentless. Yeah. And sometimes a basketball team takes on some of the characteristics of their best player, and we can quibble out who their very best player is. Certainly Domas is one of, if not their best player, and that's the way he plays, and that's the way the Kings are. They're down 18 whatever last night, and you could see they were a little frustrated by that, but they just kept pounding and pounding, Drapes.
And you know how it is, man. It's like being out in the woods and you're trying to start a fire. You rubbing the sticks together and it's nothing, That's how I felt last night was. First half, you're rubbing those sticks together, and then all of a sudden you get that spark and it ignites a flame, and that's what we saw in the third quarter. And I think that's how their mentality is. It's like it's like in baseball. You may not erase a deficit with one swing of the bat, if you will. But if you keep hitting singles, keep working the count, that pitcher eventually, that arm is going to turn into a rag arm and you'll be able to get some hits. And I thought that's how they approached it last night.
Yeah, and I asked Keegan after the game about the energy. The team's playing better. It seems like there's more of a home court advantage. I asked him, is there more energy from the fans? And, he's too smart to say something silly like that. He said the fans have always supported us. But he said last night, at times that felt like that playoff series they had with the Warriors a couple years ago. Yeah, a lot of intensity.
Yeah, you tell me, because sometimes it's kind of tough for me because when I got the headset on to truly get the full vibe. What was it like in there last night when the Kings, especially that third quarter, that comeback and things were rocking and rolling?
Yeah, well, they were just, it's one of those nights where the fans were waiting for something positive to get behind after that first half. But Jay, it got pretty loud in there, and in that third quarter, and then Warriors started throwing the ball all over the place. The fourth quarter was rocking.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think the fans, and I was kind of waiting too, because, and I'll say this to bring Pops up, that was his first Kings game, right? Big Warrior guy from the base, from San Francisco, so he's a Warrior guy. But
still, even after last night.
Well, let me say this: he's a Northern California guy, but he's always gonna have the Warriors in his heart.
I understand.
He got love for the Kings too, though. You know, just based off of me. But the other part of that too becomes I was looking around, and he was like, "Man, I'm waiting for the Sacramento crowd to do what they normally do. I've heard it all my life. You know, paid attention to the situation." Right. And when the third quarter hit, like when DeMar hit the three, Malik kind of had a few struggles, but he got one to fall, and they erupted. And I looked over and he was like, "Oh, this is it. This is it, fellas. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. I'm waiting for the Kings fans to show me why they are the best in the world." And I was like, "Yep, it's only going to get worse. Watch. Watch the noise meter in the fourth quarter, the beginning of that." And it was just one of those things where you could see we were all waiting for something to happen positive so we could all erupt.
Yeah, I think at times last year it got to where fans were a little skeptical, like, I hope something good happens, but I don't know if it will. And right now, fans are just, I know it's going to happen. I just don't know when. You know, much more positive attitude. We got Drapes Takes coming up, right, Drapes?
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Coming right up. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline.
Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out, if your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Start the year strong at InShape Fitness. Play basketball, try yoga or Pilates, or work with their personal trainers to create a happy new you. And look for Sacktown Sports Team before the next Kings game to grab your free Kings InShape Rally Towel. Join today at InShape.com. We are in shape. You are ready.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Sunshine, a light winds expected, highs in the mid-60s. Overnight lows will tumble back down to the 30s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers Game Day by securing your 2025 season tickets now. Inventory is limited, so speak with a representative. Dial 415-GO-NINERS and reserve your seats. That's 415-GO-NINERS.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome. Drapes Takes coming right up. Drapes standing by in San Francisco, where, of course, he's got pre- and post-game duties tonight. In the Chateau, Amel Aman says, Whitey kept saying Guy Santos' name yesterday. It ended up manifesting him making all those threes. Please don't manifest any random names on the Nuggets today, please. I saw our buddy Tim Roy at halftime, and he's like, this is the Guy Santos game. That was amazing. That first half was making me a little nervous, Drapes, because who was the other guy? The big guy from Boston College? Quentin Post. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'm looking at their first half numbers here, man. Those two guys, Quentin did his damage in the second half. Guy had 11 in the first half. The dude was averaging 2.6 points per game coming in, I think it was. And I'm like, damn it, Whitey. Nobody had ever heard of Guy Santos before you brought him up. And he was on fire last. Man, he was knocking him down.
Yeah. Well, you know, Drapes is going to be on fire. It's time for Drapes Takes.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
You know, Whitey, I'm calling the game last night. I'm watching Steph Curry do his thing. I'm watching Buddy Hield skipping, sashaying to the locker room at halftime. And it's disgusting me. I'm disgusted by it. I'm watching Warriors fans in there celebrating, getting to the game early, trying to take pictures with Steph and everything. And it just disgusts me. It made me want to puke. And then my boys came out in the second half and showed the Warriors fans, their broadcasters, whoever covers them, their players, their coaches, who the true kings of Northern California basketball are. Let me start off by giving DeMar DeRozan his props. And I'm going to keep doing it, Whitey, because I think we can rest that narrative of, oh, man, it's a bad fit, or, oh, he should come off the bench. DeMar DeRozan was perfect in that third quarter. Literally perfect. 7 for 7 from the field, 19 points. And I thought he sort of single-handedly, offensively changed the game. Because when you look at the numbers, the Kings in that first half, they struggled scoring the ball. 48 points? 20 in the first quarter. They needed some offense to get going. And DeMar DeRozan delivered 19 of the team's 37 points. I love DeMar, man. He's a closer. He's a clutch player. You heard him after the game talking about sort of feeling the game out early on, seeing how the defense is going to play him and everything like that. That's a veteran we're talking about. That's a Hall of Famer. And I got to keep continuing to sing his praises and Monty McNair's praises and Wes and all those guys, because DeMar wasn't on our radar last year when we were talking about additions to this team. So he has been the perfect fit, I think, so far for the Seahawks.
Yeah, the fit question's interesting, Drapes, because, you know, here we are singing the praises of Guy Santos, but a number of times last night, DeMar DeRozan noticed, oh, that's Guy Santos guard me. He can't guard me. So, you know, it was the Kings did run some ISO possessions, but it's okay to be able to attack different ways. When you have that kind of mismatch, there's nothing wrong. It doesn't mean that he's a bad fit. You just have to be a little more versatile. And with him, you have the opportunity to do that.
And versatility is a good thing, Whitey.
Exactly.
You don't have to play your style all 48 minutes. You know, you can adjust, and that's what, you know, DeMar DeRozan allows us that ability, because that's what we didn't have. If you remember, I'll go back 2 years ago in that Warriors series, Whitey. It wasn't the defense that failed us against Golden State. It was our offense. And how many times have we heard players say, or people outside say, the offense has become too predictable? Teams have figured it out. Well, you can't figure out DeMar DeRozan because there's nothing you could do. He's still going to get his bucket. So shout out to DeMar. I also got to give some credit, and I'm gonna combine all these guys together. I'm going to combine these guys all in one. Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, and the coaching staff. That was a clinic defensively, especially in the second half for the Sacramento Kings. I haven't seen a team take Steph Curry out of a game like that since I can't even remember. Like, he was a non-factor, Whitey, in the second half. Keon D'd him up, had that nice block. Keegan had that block off the backboard against him. And how about the coaching staff throwing different looks at Steph Curry, blitzing him, getting the ball out of his hands? And Whitey, you've covered the Warriors for a number of years. You've been around him. The Warriors at times get loose with the basketball, and that's what happened in that second half. The Kings had 23 fast break points in the second half alone, Whitey, because of those Warriors turnovers. Shout out to the defense last night.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think that's one area in which Doug Christie is probably not getting as much credit as he deserves as a coach. You know, that's X's and O's stuff, what he's doing defensively. Mike Brown's an excellent defensive coach, and he was a good defensive coach here. And yet, since he's left, the defense has in some ways improved, and that's remarkable.
Yeah, right. And here's the thing. We see the effort, we see the energy, but it's some X's and O's, like you said. He's throwing different looks out there. He's catching teams off guard, you know? And the thing about it, too, is, and Doug has talked about this, sometimes when you switch up defense and you play defense, you might not always get the stop, but you make the other team feel uncomfortable. I felt the Warriors felt uncomfortable for the better part of that second half. You know, fourth quarter, they started to hit some shots, everything like that, scored 32 points. But in that third quarter, they got outscored 37-20. Shout out to the defense out there. I thought it was tremendous. I thought it was fantastic. I also got to give some love, my next take, to my guy, Domantas Sabonis. And I know Kevon Looney left the game, didn't come back in the second half because of illness. But Domantas Sabonis, and it took some time, fellas. It took some time. But he figured out how to beat the Warriors with his offensive game. Remember 2 years ago in the postseason, his numbers weren't where he wanted them to be. We understand it. The dude had spent the last 2 years working on his game, and he was phenomenal last night. There was one rebound he had where I swear he was, surrounded by 3 Warriors players. It was a big-time rebound in the fourth quarter. Kings go down there, get the bucket. Domantas Sabonis should be an all-star. He's playing like an all-star. He's playing like an all-NBA performer. This dude deserves all the love he gets.
Yeah, you remember his first three-point attempt last night? It didn't hit anything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no, the Warriors are in his head again. And he bounced back, he made, 2 of his next 3.
4. Yeah. 3.
So those were big-time shots and monster numbers for Domantas Sabonis.
And how about this too, Whitey? Final take. If we don't make our free throws, we lose this game.
Amen, brother.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Dude, the Kings were 30 of 32 from the free throw line. And we could give DeMar some credit because we know that's what he does. But the work that Tomas and De'Aaron and all those guys have put in, like coaches told me, they spent the entire offseason working on free throws. That was a point of emphasis, and it shows you, I'll be honest with you, what I saw from the Kings last year from the free throw line is sort of like Kyle Shanahan with special teams. We don't pay much attention to it. You know what I mean? Like, it looked like when De'Aaron went up there, if it goes in, great. If it doesn't, oh well, Now I see the intentionality at the free throw line with these guys. The fact that they went 30 of 32 from the free throw line, this is a game usually they probably lose, but they win it by once again making their free throws in the fourth quarter and second half.
Yeah, and De'Aaron Fox, as you know, rough shooting night, 2 for 11, but 10 for 10 from the foul line.
Yeah.
And real quick, too, give him some love real fast, Drapes, because those are the games that I think De'Aaron in the past, not so much as last year, but I think in his first, 6 years or so, he would get lost and you wouldn't see him be able to finish. And those were the games where people would call right here on this online. Here today and say, hey, De'Aaron's not a star. He can't do it. And when stars make things out of nothing, and when you don't have a good game, 6 points, he finished it well by hitting the free throws and, of course, the mid-range jumper that pretty much really iced the game. So you got to give him some love. I'll be the first one to say that's what stars do, just what he did last night.
And I'm with you, Jay, and I was going to piggyback on that. Let's not confuse an off night or off shooting numbers as not playing hard or not being dialed in or not having an impact. I didn't see De'Aaron slacking or anything like that last night. And I'm seeing some tweets out there and people talking about we need to have the De'Aaron Fox conversation and everything like that. Sometimes you just miss shots. But like we've seen the last 3 games, he's doing some other things. I don't know if it's the finger bothering him or what. But this is a game last year. If De'Aaron Fox has this kind of night, we definitely lose this game. Think about the depth we have, especially in that starting lineup where we can overcome a De'Aaron Fox 2 of 11 game and still win by 6 against the Warriors. Truly tremendous, I thought, last night. Shout out to that crowd also. You guys mentioned it. The crowd was on point. They were fired up. It's a rivalry. The trash talk was going on out there. Shout out to everybody out there. Jay, that's Drapes Takes, man. It's brought to you by
by Alsco Uniforms. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms.
Doug Christie says he's not worried about De'Aaron Fox. Should we be worried about De'Aaron Fox? We're back with that. Also tell you how the Kings made NBA history last night. Next, Sacktown Sports.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from JiffyLube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their #1 priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, it's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, but we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us at Tom's Watch Bar for an exclusive Sacramento Kings watch party on Thursday, January 23rd versus Denver. Complete with 360-degree viewings, surround sound, MCs, giveaways, and prizes. See you there.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's kind of a feel, understanding in those moments, you know, kind of what we need. And, you know, I just try to go out there, be aggressive, you know, just try to get us going, give ourselves opportunity. You know, I know we was down going into halftime. You know, we knew we didn't play our best basketball, so I just try to take it upon me, just be aggressive. And with that came the buckets.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, Drapes mentioned it on Drapes Takes. And you saw it last night. DeMar DeRozan, or you heard it here on Sacktown Sports. Third quarter, DeMar DeRozan 7 for 7 from the floor, made his only 3-point try, made 4 free throws, a couple of rebounds, a steal, 19 points in that third quarter. And that's when the Kings turned that game around. And Drapes, after the game, Doug Christie was saying he thought that was when when the Kings played some more zone. He said that kind of got the game going in their direction a little bit. So big third quarter, turned the whole night around for everybody.
Yeah, I think so. They threw some different looks out there defensively, and Doug's right. I mean, and here's the thing about it too. In the first half, I felt like the Kings sort of let the Warriors be the aggressors, dictate what they wanted to offensively. I thought in the second half, the Kings took the Warriors out of what they wanted to do offensively, whether it was the zone, whether it was the trapping and the blitzing of Steph Curry. The second half was all about trying to make the Warriors uncomfortable. And I thought that, they did a hell of a job doing that last night.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as the start of the game and how the Warriors were the ones who took the fight to the Kings. And we haven't seen that in a while, and it was a little startling, huh? We used to see that a lot earlier this year, but we hadn't seen that since Doug Christie had taken over, and it was a little surprising. It looked like, wow, the Kings weren't prepared for the level of energy the Warriors were going to bring tonight. But then somehow they still, that third quarter, tilted the game back in their favor. Some interesting comments here in the chat. We have some people wondering about Steve Kerr. Banta the Young says, Kerr trying to get thrown out per usual. And Cole G says, Kirby picking the worst hills to die on. So he was upset about a ball that he thought, that Domas kicked that ball out of bounds?
Yeah.
He went nuts.
He did, and he got the technical, and I saw it, and it to me, it was clear. I forget who the Warriors player was, but they threw it right at Domas's foot. Like, that's not a kick ball. I mean, that's an accidental contact there. And so that's 2 games in a row against the Kings where Steve Kerr is just losing his mind. That's a sense of frustration. I will give Steve Kerr some credit. Did you see at the end of the game, walked up, shook Doug Christie's hand, gave him a little pat, because remember, I don't think they said goodbye, last time.
They didn't.
Right? They both stormed off. So, it was a little more grace there last night after that game.
Mention the Kings making a bit of NBA history. The Kings under Doug Christie against Dallas at an 18-point comeback win, against Miami, a 17-point comeback win, and last night an 18-point comeback win. So according to Opta Stats, no other coach in the 21st century has had 3 15-point or more comeback wins within his first dozen games as an NBA coach. Yeah, they get behind, and it's like they're like, all right, it's an inconvenience, but we'll just come back and win it.
Exactly, and that's what you love, man. And that's, think about it. Earlier this season against Indiana, they tapped out. They were like, we're done. We don't want anymore. No mas. Roberto Duran out there. But now they're getting up off the mat and, give the coaching staff and the players some credit. And think about it like this, too. Sacramento's sort of a blue-collar town. You know what I mean? That's like, as long as you play hard and put up a fight, we're going to ride with you.
Yep.
And that's what you're saying with this group right now. It's like the shots may not always fall, but they're giving maximum effort out there for the most part. And now you're seeing it lead to wins.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that's always been true in Sacramento as long as the Kings have been here. Last night, among other things, Doug Christie said, in this post game, he had a lot to say, a lot of things to address. De'Aaron Fox came up in his shooting numbers, and Doug just said, I'm not worried about De'Aaron Fox. And he said that before. But as you mentioned, Drapes, fans are going to fan. And De'Aaron Fox last night, the shooting numbers I just mentioned a minute ago was 2 for 11. Should we be concerned about De'Aaron Fox and his offensive output over the last couple of games?
I don't know. I've been looking at some of the numbers here, Whitey, and clearly he's in a little bit of a slump right now. 0 for 8 from 3 over his last 2 games. But then in the Houston games, he was 2 of 4. And so I just think he's having some trouble right now, and all players go through it. And when we've talked last year about De'Aaron Fox, he usually goes through a slump in the December, January portion of the schedule, if you will. And so I'm not too concerned. And the thing about it, we're much more capable of withstanding an off night from De'Aaron Fox. I'll look at it like this too, Whitey. over his last 3 games, I'll say his last 4 games, he's shooting about 33% from the field. But he also has, let me do the math, 13 and 13, 26, 31 assists. So over his last 4 games, he's averaging close to 8 assists per game. So it's not like if he doesn't make shots, he has no impact on the team. And so I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if, he could use some more time off, come All-Star break, something like that. But remember, he missed 3 games after taking that hard fall in that Memphis game. And so, he's already had some time off, but I'm not too concerned right now. Because he might come out tonight and drop 40. We don't know.
Well, they could use it tonight, huh? They really could use that from him tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, because this Denver team is playing at a high level right now. Elite offensive team, Whitey. Oh, my gosh. Look at some of their offensive numbers. How are you first in fast break and points in the paint? And you're top, I got it right here. 3-point percentage, number 3. Field goal percentage, number 1. Scored the 3rd most point. Like, you got to score some points tonight if you're Sacramento. This ain't going to be a 195 game. I think you're going to have to also score some points, and we could use a big game from De'Aaron.
What happened to you, Drapes? Those are the nicest things you've ever said about the Denver Nuggets ever.
Yeah, dude, I just got the numbers in black and white right here, big fella. I can't argue with these numbers. I looked at them and my eyes got big. I was like that meme, like, oh my gosh, like damn, they're actually playing pretty decently right now. And so give them some credit, man. I mean, first in points in the paint, first in fast breaks, 4th in offensive rating. I tell you what, though, if I'm Vivek, if I'm ownership, and I heard what Michael Malone said, Whitey, I'm on that plane with the team, yo.
Yeah.
This is we gotta win this one, right? Because Michael Malone is giving that speech to his team about tonight's game.
Yeah, yeah. After the game last night, our own Scott Marsh asked DeMar DeRozan about the back-to-back in Denver, and DeMar said, it happens when it happens in the NBA. I kind of feel like it's a setup, and it happens. But it's like back-to-back games, second one at altitude in Denver. And as Jay was saying a few moments ago during the commercial break, and you know this, Drapes, team arrived in Denver, 4:00 in the morning or something. And, it happens. Yeah. We're not making excuses, but it's a tough one tonight. The schedule's working against the Kings a little bit tonight.
Yeah, according to our guy G-Man, they arrived at the hotel at 3:30. But the problem is you don't just get to the hotel and go right to bed.
Right.
You got to wait for them to deliver your bags. That could take another half hour, 45 minutes. G-Man said he got his bags at 3:50, and he was hoping to have lights out at 4:25. And you got to play a hot Denver team at altitude. And what was it, 2 years ago? I feel like a number of teams complained. I think it might have been the Lakers or something like that. Like, it's just unfair the second night of a back-to-back in Denver like that.
Yeah, it is. But as far as De'Aaron Fox goes, when Doug says what he said last night, when he says, I'm not worried about De'Aaron Fox, I could be wrong, but to me, the subtext of that is we understand why he's struggling a bit. To me, the finger, like you said, he had the gluteal injury, and then that finger, as we said yesterday, when he was speaking to the media this week, that finger looks like it's really in bad shape. And just imagine with that taped, trying to shoot the ball on your shooting hand, it's tough. And, wham. That's why they get paid money. I know. But the good news is I think he's adjusted to that. I think he tries the 3-ball in games. When it's not going, sometimes he realizes, all right, it's not there tonight, and he finds other ways to be effective. And as we've said here, the way he performed down the stretch at the foul line last night, that's big time. That's just clutch, big time basketball from your best player.
Yeah, and how about that steal he had? I think it was on GPT as well. And so he's doing some other things. And I feel like, sure, we want De'Aaron to score. He's our leading scorer for a reason. But when you got Malik playing like he's playing, DeMar playing, Domas is a scorer too now. Let's give Domas some love scoring the ball. It's not as important. Like, this team is built to withstand and not have to have De'Aaron Fox score 30 every night to win. And that's okay. That's okay.
Did you guys notice this? I saw something. I wasn't sure if it was what I thought it was. I thought at one point DeMar was going back and forth with Draymond. Draymond was in street clothes, and I thought they were having words. And it was just, they weren't screaming at each other, going to fight or anything. Did anyone else see that? You see that, Jay?
No, I didn't see that. Wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. All right. It looked like to me like Tamar was turning towards Draymond. I was like, well, what are you talking about? I don't know. But speaking of, Draymond Green cannot have it both ways, but he continues to try to have it both ways. And we'll look at that as we continue to bask in the afterglow of the Kings' big win over the Warriors. Next, Sacktown Sports.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
Flex Premium Athleisure is softness that plays hard. From the couch to the gym to the office and beyond, Flex gives you premium comfort and style that keeps up with anything without costing everything. Whether you're chasing the ball or chasing the kids, life's a workout. Flex with it. Exclusively at Kohl's. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Old Spice Swagger Body Wash will make you the MVP of freshness and confidence. With its irresistible scent, it will transform your shower experience, leaving you feeling fresh on and off the field. Pair it with Old Spice Swagger Deodorant, the #1 aluminum-free brand that keeps you feeling like a Super Bowl champion 24/7 when used daily. But don't wait. This dynamic duo is available at Costco for a limited time only. Old Spice, official deodorant partner of the NFL and Super Bowl 59, where freshness meets football greatness.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Shop Big O Tires now through January 26th and get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo brand tires. Installation purchase required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tires dealer for details.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
1-800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Oh boy. I want to apologize in advance for even talking about Draymond Green, but this hypocrisy got to me a little bit. We got Drapes in San Francisco, of course, get ready for the Kings and the Nuggets. So I'll just get into it and out of it real quick. You know, Jordan Poole was in the Bay Area over the weekend. He was in Saturday, and then Sunday, of course, the Wizards were here. And somebody asked Jordan Poole about the Warriors. He said, well, I pretty much love most of those guys. So people are like, ooh. And then so Draymond Green on X, he says, I'm really sorry, man. And then on his podcast, and I think this was just yesterday, recently, whatever day it was, he says, oh, come on, man. You just got to move on from all that. It's been 3 years. And how can you move on if you're the one bringing it up on your podcast, Draymond? If you want to move on, then just move on and shut up about it, right, Drapes? He did the same thing with him and Durant on, the incident they had years ago where they got into it during a game. And then a couple years ago, the two of them brought it up on Draymond's podcast. And when they brought it up, what do they say? People need to let this go. Well, if you want people to let it go, then shut up about it and we can all move on, Draymond. It's ridiculous.
What Draymond do to you, Whitey? Why you...
It just drives me crazy, though. Oh, why are people still talking about it? You're the one talking about it because you know you'll get views on your podcast. Drives me crazy.
I'm not even going to waste my time talking about this clown Draymond and that. Did you see his overalls he had on? Those camo overalls?
I did.
They were okay. They were all right.
Hey, you going after that man's fashion?
No, I'm just saying. One thing I didn't like, he was walking around on the floor like he owned it. Like at halftime or, right after that, whenever it was. He's over there talking to people and had his security walking behind him and everything. Man, sit your butt behind the bench where you belong. Sit down. You ain't a part of this game tonight.
Mm-hmm. Here's what Jay has it for us, right? Here's Draymond Green's comments on his pod.
Responded because it's been 3 years. Like, let's move on.
Where's the love?
We moved on. Like, we're supposed to move on, man. I really am sorry.
Right.
Like, it was kind of like it was looking for some sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of keep wanting to make me out to be the bad guy. Move on, bro. Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have punched him. But, it happened. Like, let's move on. I even apologized to his parents because, I got his dad popped off one time on the internet. And I went back at him because it was just like, bro, why are you popping off? And I actually didn't like myself for it because I wasn't even on that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I kind of let him get me off my square a little bit because I've said what I said about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's over.
I be kind of going back and forth with this on like, I be kind of in between on certain days like, yo, I know I was wrong, but you can't call a man a B word and push him and not get hit either.
There you go. Having it both ways. I was wrong. I was so wrong. But you know what? I kind of go both ways on that. So, yeah, deal, Draymond. You shut up about it. We'll move on. Please.
How about this? I'm actually kind of on Draymond's side with this one, Whitey.
In what sense?
Like, every time Jordan Poole comes back to Golden State, are they going to ask him about it? Like, this is not his first trip back.
Well, maybe they are, but you can't blame him for that, can you? If people keep asking him about it, is that Jordan Poole's fault?
No, but I'm not blaming Jordan Poole. But I think Draymond's beef is with the media constantly bringing it up, not Jordan Poole. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, It's like, all right, are we going every time he comes back, are we going to bring that up? It's time to move on, right? And so that's what I felt like he was saying there. And it's like, it's kind of weak to me to keep constantly bringing it up. Like, that story is played out now. So I'm actually, and I hate to say it, I'm not a Draymond apologist, but I agree. Like, what's the statute of limitations on this story?
If that's true, I see your point, but if that's true, then why does he need to go there on his own pod? Just let it go. Just let it go. But he's smart.
No,
he's really smart.
Too, Whitey.
I know he is.
Too. This is good content for his pod.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're making money off it, don't complain about, why can't we move on about this thing? And let me tell you about this thing, by the way. But I want to move on from it. I get it. How about this, Drapes? We have from the text line here, Herder's minutes. Actually calls him Trey Herder. Trey Herder's minutes seem to be dwindling as of late. Is this a sign that they're trying to trade him? Would you take Trey Herder in a trade?
That mean you get both?
Player or something. That's like some fictional player. I mean, Kevin Herder only played 5 minutes and change last night, guys.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
And I don't think it has anything to do with trade. The dude, he's just not getting it done right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just not being effective. And, you know, they're trying to work on him. They're changing his game day routine, his shooting routine, his practice routine to try and get him to going. And nothing's working right now, man. It's really tough to watch because we can see it with him. It's psychological. You know what I mean? It's gotten into his head. And how do you get a player out of that? I think that's a tough challenge right now.
It seems like that's one thing that Doug Christie would be skilled at doing, right? I think we've seen him do that with some players already, but players who are not in as deep as slumps or as funks as it appears Kevin Herder's been in. So if Doug can't reach him, but I do, he's aware, right? He knows that he's in trade talks and the Kings are talking to teams and he's like, number one on the list of things they want to move. So I know Cam Johnson just addressed that, I think last night, about the trade rumors. Yeah. And I'm sure it's not easy, but especially for a guy like Kevin Herder, who's been struggling to find that rhythm for more than a season and a half now.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, man, because any trade idea that comes up, Kevin Herder's name is the first one mentioned. And some guys handle it differently than other guys. And it's clear that it's bothering him. And, I will say, and I know he's not getting it done. I know the numbers aren't looking good. But, man, if he could ever get it back, he would be such a valuable piece for this team off the bench, man. He would be huge,
Mm-hmm. Aaron says, Kevin Lyles is balling, though. Trey Herder's struggling.
Cole G. Keon Lyles is the whole bench.
The whole bench. Can we agree, Drapes? As exciting as this is, as well as the Kings are playing, this team does need to improve in that bench area. If we want to be serious about doing anything, this is great, man. These are great wins, but let's not kid ourselves. This team still needs to get better in that area.
Yeah. I was listening, I think it was Sam Amick on with the morning show the other day, or somebody I was listening to, and they were saying, our starting five is elite offensively. You look at the numbers that we're getting. So how much do you need an actual scorer off the bench when your starting five is so elite offensively? And I'm throwing that question out there.
Yeah.
It's like, there's only so many points that can go around. And I understand it sucks. Like last night, for instance. Warriors bench clearly outplayed and outscored the Kings bench, but it still wasn't enough, And so it's like, what do we need off the bench? A 20-point per game scorer? Well, most teams don't have that really. And so I don't know. What do you think, Whitey?
Well, I understand your point, but even if you have great starters, then when you go to the bench, you just don't want that drop off. You don't need necessarily somebody's going to come in and, Vinny Johnson. And if you have him, great. But if it's short of that, you just can't have a couple of guys who come in and you're kind of like a hockey team waiting to kill a penalty where we got to get our guys back on the ice here. So, there is something of a drop off. There's been a lot of inconsistency. The guys coming off the bench, they don't have to play at an all-star level, but they can't play at a sub replacement level. And I think, that has been an issue for the Kings. That's my opinion. You could improve there without going out and getting a superstar 20-game scorer.
No, I agree with you. I mean, because we're talking about making a deep run into the playoffs.
Exactly.
And you need some sort of, to me, Keon Ellis is our defensive game changer who can knock down some shots, can score a nice two-way player. But when the offense isn't flowing, who does Doug Christie turn and point to and say, all right, this guy will get hot and give us something offensively tonight. We really don't have that person on the bench right now.
Right. It's nice to have options, right? Especially when you get into the postseason and you're playing the same team, 5, 6, 7 games and things bog down. It's nice to have options. So I'm sure they're working on that. Let's just not kid ourselves that this is a finished product. Although, again, yesterday, Anthony Slater said, as currently constructed, this is like a 45-win team. That's not bad, Drapes. That's not bad, but they could be better.
They could be better. Let me ask you this real quick, too. I'm just looking at the Celtics and looking at the Kings. And I understand Kevin Huerter's numbers have, gone down. The Celtics have 8 guys averaging better than 7 points per game. The Kings have 7 guys averaging better than 7 points per game. And so I guess the Celtics have 6 guys averaging double figures. The Kings have 5 guys. So maybe we're not that far off. Maybe it's just one more, whether it's Collins or Cam, or just one more guy that we can turn to offensively.
Yeah, like we've been saying, you get another wing and a backup center. Woo, that's a good ball club right there. Doug Christie explains how the Kings did it again last night when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Lowe's knows how to help make your Super Bowl 59 party a touchdown. Let us help you prep your home to host with top brands like Charbroil, Blackstone, and LG, so you can be the MVP of game day. Plus, use the Lowe's app to find what you need for a seamless shopping run. Or huddle up with our Lowe's Red Vest associates to help make all your game time hosting decisions.
It's time to turn up the volume on live entertainment. Check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar for the hottest events and shows coming your way. On February 18th, catch the incredible Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades. His powerful vocals and raw talent will leave you speechless. Then gear up for an adrenaline-packed night with the Thunder Showdown boxing event at Thunder Valley on March 8th. Who will come out on top in the ring? Be there to find out. On March 9th, don't miss the legendary John Oates live at the Crest Theater, bringing you iconic hits and timeless melodies. If you're a country fan, mark your calendar for March 16th, when Alexandra Kay brings her heartfelt songs to Ace of Spades for an unforgettable evening. And on March 29th, get ready to rock the night away as Papa Roach and Rise Against take over the Golden One Center with an electrifying performance. Don't miss these amazing events. For more information and your chance to win tickets, head to SacktownSports.com. Sacktown Sports, your front row seat to the Sacramento area's best live entertainment. Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us at Tom's Watch Bar for an exclusive Sacramento Kings watch party on Thursday, January 23rd versus Denver, complete with 360-degree viewings, surround sound, MCs, giveaways, and prizes. See you there.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento, from the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Doug Christie's Kings, with another stirring win last night, made all the sweeter because they had to come from so far behind against a bitter rival. Of course, the Kings now move on to play Denver. Kyle Draper in San Francisco today, getting ready for his TV duties. But I think you identified it already, Drapes. That is, the low point from last night, to me, was end of the first half. Buddy Hield makes a three, and as you said, skips off the floor after giving the Warriors a 65-48 lead at halftime. Things were looking somewhat dim, if not outright grim, for the Kings.
No, it was looking pretty bad. Of all people, Buddy Hield and the smile. Right, Shavano coming into our house and doing that to us. No, you're right, man. That was it was rough. It was rough to see, and I'm looking. I'm like, is this really happening? Because it wasn't Steph Curry, and I know Steph racked up some assists in that first half. But when you hit 14 threes, you think, all right, Steph probably got 5 or 6 of them, something like that. I think he had 1 3-pointer, Steph Curry did in that first half, and so it's like, we're getting beat by Buddy Hield and Guy Santos? What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, I will say at halftime, it was the great Tony Ray Harvey who came up to me and said, it's not over yet, Kev. It's not over yet. Yeah. So he did not give up his belief. He didn't give up the faith. Neither did the Kings. Came back with that huge third quarter. DeMar DeRozan dominating the third quarter, and then the Kings dominating also. Oh, nip and tuck that fourth quarter. Give the Warriors credit. They came from behind a couple times and took the lead, and the Kings win at 123-117. After the game, Doug Christie explained how the Kings turned things around in that second half.
The second half was more about what we do. There was just so many performances. DeMar, third quarter, Malik, Keegan defensively. Domas just continues to be a monster. Foxy, 10 for 10 from the free throw line. Like, his aggressiveness and gravity in the second half. I continue to say it, like, I don't really worry about him offensively. He's gonna, I mean, he's brilliant. So that's not it. But he continues to lead by example and win basketball games, and that's what he does. So across the board, I'm probably forgetting somebody, but I apologize. But love them all. Big time stuff from the guys.
You know, Drapes, we haven't seen Doug Christie have to coach a team through a rough patch yet, and it's the NBA, so that's inevitable. So we'll see. We're still not sure how this is all going to play out, although right now no one can deny that it's coming together beautifully. Well, one thing I've noticed Doug do last night, and I don't think I've ever seen a coach do this. Maybe you have. You know, that first quarter, he had to call a couple timeouts because the Warriors were having their way with the Kings, and so there's timeout, and then Doug walks out on the floor, and he's like slapping hands with like Herter and Trey Lyles. A couple of times I think they were like, wait, what? Huh? Oh, okay. They didn't expect it because they're losing, but the coach was still being that positive in it, and I think it kind of took them by surprise.
No, and I noticed that too, Whitey. I noticed that, like, when the Warriors were going to run and Doug would call the timeout, he wasn't disgusted or upset or, angry or anything like that. No, you're 100% spot on with that. I noticed that too last night. And I think that's what resonates with this team. But We needed that. And a lot of times something like that comes from a player. Don't worry, guys, we in this, we got this, it's all good. We okay, we're fine. We're getting it from our head coach. And I feel like that's exactly, what this team needed. One of the things Jay Crowder does a great job at that as well. But, it's not all doom and gloom. Remember, I told the story, and I think Sam told it on the morning show. It was against the Lakers earlier this season. They're down by 4 for like 3 minutes and change. And you would think the Kings were at a funeral or something. They looked all, sad and down and everything like that. And so, Doug is an uplifter, I guess is the way I want to describe it, and an encourager. And I think that's exactly what this team needed. This team doesn't need tough love, if you know what I mean, Whitey. This team needs to be massaged and, hey, we good. We're good. Don't need to panic or anything like that. And so I think that's what he's given to this team right now.
After the game, lots of questions for Doug Christie after all these wins about how he's doing it and what he's doing. And Doug deflected some of the credit last night, pointed out that the players are the ones really responsible for this turnaround.
I really think this is all about them. It's not really about me, man. It's about them believing in each other, them fighting for each other, them locking arms together. Everything that you're seeing them do is about a brotherhood that's bigger than what you go out and do on the court. It's about loving each other in a way that people, when they watch it, they can feel it. And that's what I think that we see. So like I said, I try to put them in the best place. I talk, they probably think I'm a little crazy sometimes, but the point is trying to get that point across to them that when you care for each other this way, there's a vibe that goes with that is undeniable. And I think that's what everyone is seeing right now. And we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, there again, Drapes, that positivity. And I'm sure a lot of people on the outside would hear that and go, what is that's Harry High School stuff? But it's not. And clearly it's made a huge difference so far with this team.
Right. And every team's different, right? Every team responds differently, different kind of tactics, if you will. And I think what you're seeing is that mutual respect and admiration and love between the coach and the players. And so, it's one thing too, I'll say this about Doug, the way he's operating, to me, it signals to the players, I'm not going to give up on you, so don't give up on me kind of thing. Even though we're down, I'm still rocking with you guys. I need y'all to rock with me through this as well. And I think that's the relationship you're seeing between players and coach right now.
Yeah. Now, how about this? As far as tonight goes, Drapes, we talked about the tall task ahead for the Kings. We have in the chateau, Todd Packer. I get it. Todd Packer says, we beat Denver by 8 points tonight. But Burrito Abuser says, Todd, it's going to be tough. Sacktown says, I don't know, guys. This might be a loss. Drapes, give us a little Doug Christie-esque pep talk, would you, for tonight? You have one in you?
Ooh, that's going to be tough, man. I don't know, Whitey. I mean, I think that, I'm looking at De'Aaron Fox to have a bounce back game. Here's the thing, though. They got in late. We understand that. They'll be a little tired. We understand that. But hopefully the adrenaline gets pumping. Russell Westbrook will talk a little trash. De'Aaron Fox will be able to go back at him. And so, hopefully Sabonis gets up for this matchup with Jokic, And so it's going to be tough, man. And if I'm correct, last time we played Denver,
that was that DeMar on the baseline had a chance to beat him. And
yeah.
That
narrow Aaron loss. Gordon beasted us too to start the game.
The first quarter, it was like they had DeMar on him, and then they had Jay Crowder on him, and he dominated, especially that first quarter.
Was Keegan out of that game? What? I'm trying to remember what was.
I think he was. I have to double check that. I think you're absolutely right.
I have to look at that box score back then. And see, because that was a mismatch right from the jump. And so hopefully we get off to a better start. That's the thing too. And remember, Denver made their final 7 shots or something like that down the stretch. And so we got to tighten that up. And I think Doug will have his guys ready, man. He'll have the requisite pregame pep talk, if you will.
There we go.
Keegan was out on the last game.
Keegan was out.
Yeah,
so
he was. All right. Yep. And we got Keegan back. So now it ain't gonna be no mismatches out there.
Who started for Keegan? Take a guess. Anybody want to take a wild guess right now?
Oh, I remember. I looked at it today.
Oh, okay.
Didn't they have? Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
You moved a step to the right.
Had a pretty good shooter in there, didn't they? Yeah. In the starting lineup.
Drapes, could you take a guess who started in front of for Keegs?
Yeah, that was Doug McDermott, right?
Yeah, look at you. You guys must have actually.
He had a good game, I think. Didn't he have 16?
He did have
16.
Yeah, he did have 16.
I think he had a good second half, Whitey.
Okay.
Like that start was horrible. Like
it was in garbage time or something. What you saying?
No, it wasn't garbage. It just like Mike went with McDermott, and that quickly backfired. And so then he got pulled out, and then Jay Crowder came in, but then he came back in and settled into the game. But it was brutal to start that game.
Yes, it was. Another Kings win leaves us with a big bundle of box score joy. I know Drapes loves it when we dive into the box score. We got a lot to unpack on last night's box score. We do that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hardworking tools at hardworking prices. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
You can finally follow through with that resolution to get into that Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler you've always wanted at Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something, getting you the best deals in town with the best customer experience. See for yourself. They're centrally located right next to Hagen Oaks Golf Course.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Happy New Year! Coach Christie here letting you know it's never been easier to drive into the new year in a new Kia. Take advantage of special low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit right now at Folsom Lake Kia.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Little STP, huh? Thank you, Jay. Drapes, we already had an NBA game today across the pond.
Yes. I did not see any highlights or who won or anything.
San Antonio over Indiana, 140-110. This Wembanyama guy, apparently he's pretty good. He had 30, 11, and 10, I think. 30, 11, and 6. He had a big game. Victor Wembanyama.
Wow. Yeah. Whoa, 140-110? Wow.
Yeah. He had 30, 11, and 6.
So if
5 blocks.
That's a setup if I'm the Pacers. I'm upset. Besides the fact of going over there, and I won't say for free, but you're going over there. And I even seen a couple reports, and I don't remember. Maybe it was Vince Goodwill, friend of the show, who wrote an article talking about the Pacers, even though they know they're going to France for a setup a loss, they're going to make the best out of it. Like literally, that was the headline. Man, that's terrible. Why am I going to France to play Wembanyama in the middle of the season? Y'all setting me up for a couple of losses.
But is it that big of an advantage for him? For them?
Yeah, of course,
a little bit.
No, it is, man. Stop that, Whitey. He's getting the Pat Mahomes calls over there.
Oh,
well,
really?
How about this too, fellas? And how about this? Spurs are in the Western Conference. Pacers in the Eastern Conference. basically this is 2 home games for San Antonio.
San Antonio, yeah.
And that is kind of.
Why you send Philadelphia with Yabusele over there?
Oh, good question. That's a great question. Yeah. So with the Kings win last night, where are they now, Drapes, in the Western Conference standings?
7th.
7th? Wow.
Yes. How about that?
Uh-huh. And I know you didn't like me bringing it up yesterday, but had they lost that game, they'd be in a 3-way tie for, I think, 9, 10, 11 with the Warriors and the Suns. But with the win, they are 7th, just 1 game behind the Lakers, who are 5th, and the Clippers, who are 6th. Although, again, we know the Lakers technically have the tiebreaker. So you keep winning, good things happen. It's funny how that works out.
Yeah, man, it'd be nice to get this one tonight. My gosh, it would be nice because as of now, Clippers hold the tiebreaker. I can't remember. I think the Clippers hold the tiebreaker
Over us,
right?
So far they do.
It's 2-0, right?
Yeah.
Freaking Norman Powell. Yeah, so we're still a couple games away, but yeah, I'm looking at the standings, man, and I'll always take a look at the loss column. We're 1 back of the Clippers in the loss column, 2 back of the Lakers. Lakers play Boston tonight too.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we got a chance to inch even closer to these Lakers, man. We're sitting pretty. I like where we're at, man. I like what we're doing right now, where we stand. I don't think the Lakers will go on any kind of tear or anything like that. I don't think the Clippers are. I think those 2 teams are who they are, and so I do think if. I'm not saying we're going to win at a 90% clip or anything like that, but we can really climb up the ladder here.
Yeah, the Lakers are playing the Celtics because it's Rivals Week in the NBA. I am glad that, the Warriors and the Kings, especially the Kings and the fans here, put on a show for the rest of the country, right? This is what pro basketball is supposed to be like. But some of these rival games, I think last night wasn't Dallas. Was it Dallas, Minnesota? It's part of Rivals Week. It's what? They're rivals? Okay.
I think tonight is Milwaukee and Miami.
Oh, wow. Look out.
All right. I'm like, how is that a rivalry? Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. But whatever, league, whatever, Adam Silver.
Yeah, sometimes they try a little too hard, but that's okay. When you look at box scores, and I'm trying to help Drapes to really understand how to look at a box score sometimes. But, there's typically at least one number that jumps out at you in any box score. There were so many last night, box scores are but there were some huge numbers last night that I think we need to just at least peek at because they speak volumes as to what the Kings are doing right now. The first one I would say is just Drapes, and I think you mentioned some of these, and I'm sure you did last night. The fast break points last night, you don't see this very often. Fast break points. Sacramento, 28. Golden State, 0.
Wow.
28 to nothing.
Right? Yeah. And it was 23 to nothing just in the second. 23 of the fast break points, Whitey, I believe, came in the second half for the Kings.
Yeah, Doug mentioned that after the game. Yeah. That's amazing.
Unheard of. And, but like we said in Drapes, the Warriors will turn the ball over. And that's what we saw in that second half, Whitey. I'm digging into the box score also. I got it right here. You're not the only one with a box score in front of you. I got it right here.
They didn't stop making them, Drapes. They didn't stop making them.
Dude, 12 Warriors turnovers, 21 points off those turnovers. So a lot of those turnovers were live ball turnovers. And then if you look at the Kings, we only turned the ball over 8 times.
Right. Right.
And Warriors capitalized, it seemed like every time with 16 points. But, we won that battle. And I think that's why you saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the whole game, for the entire game, you're right. It was much more dramatic in the second half. But over the whole 48 minutes, the Warriors, 19 turnovers. They gave up 27 points. And the Kings turned it over only 8 times. Gave up 16 points. Steve Kerr said that was the game. He said, the turnovers were the whole thing. And it was interesting because he said, I thought a lot of our turnovers were unforced. He said they did some nice things with pressure. Give him credit. But he said, they also sped us up and they forced us to make mistakes. But that's the thing, right? When you throw traps at people, they make mistakes. You kind of force them to make mistakes because you speed them up. So Kings deserve credit for that too. They got that element of surprise sometimes when they spring those blitzes on people.
Yeah, and that's, and the thing about it, that's one thing that's been a hallmark of Doug Christie, and he's talked about it, off camera, behind the scenes as well. And I mentioned it too, and you guys know this. His whole thing is about making the other team uncomfortable. From the time they walk into the building, time they take the hop on the bus, like you want them on edge. And I felt like in the first half, we sort of, I don't want to say limped into the game, but we didn't make them feel as we didn't do that. Warriors felt comfortable. They were talking trash. I'm looking at Quentin Post and Guy Santos talking trash and flexing out there. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And
Katie had to hold you back. You almost went out on the floor.
Right. I was like, hold up now. You can't be doing that in my building and everything. And those Warrior fans were so loud and they were talking the trash and everything. And then it clicked for our guys. And I thought DeMar offensively, and then give Keon some credit defensively, helped change the game.
Yeah, speaking of that, Steph Curry last night, everyone looks at he had 14 points. And yeah, that's really low, and the defense deserves a great deal of credit. He only had 11 shots last night. Steph Curry had 11 shots. In the third quarter, he was 0 for 1, Steph Curry. In the second half, Steph Curry, when the Warriors really needed Steph Curry to be Superman, he was 1 for 5 for 2 points in the second half. That's remarkable defense.
Right. And here's the thing. I saw a frustrated Steph Curry. Like that 1 3-pointer he took, that forced one, his double team, he's falling. It was like, I haven't gotten up a lot of shots here. I'm getting this shot up no matter what. He had a layup like that as well. It was like, we took him out of the game.
Yep.
You said, you know what? If Quentin Post is going to hit 8 threes, so be it. I guess we're going to lose. If Wiggins going to continue his hot shooting, I guess we're going to lose. Whitey, think about this. And this doesn't happen every day in the NBA. A team makes 22 3-pointers against you and you still win the game?
Yeah.
That's crazy. They outscore you. They double you up from 3-point range and you still find a way to win. Wow.
Yes. So how do you make up for that? Well, last night the Kings made up for that in part at the foul line. Kings shot 32 free throws and made 30. I know you pointed that out as well in Drapes takes. 93.8%, including some huge gut check free throws in the fourth quarter. And the Warriors only got to the line 13 times. You didn't hear Steve Kerr after the game complain, we didn't get to the line. He knows, he admits, he goes, our team doesn't get to the line.
Right, right.
So the Kings took advantage of that, got to the foul line, and did something that so many times last year we were just wondering, why can't they make free throws? They clutched up last night, one of the absolute keys to the win, Drapes.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Steph Curry, only 1 free throw away. Only 1 free. Think about that. This is Steph Curry we're talking about. And so that goes to show you, and how many times had Mike Brown talked about it, and defend without fouling. Defend without fouling. They're doing a hell of a job. They only committed 14 fouls yesterday.
Yes.
Golden State committed 27. That's great defense right there, man.
Yeah, and the great thing about that, in addition to the obvious, is this is the second time the Kings have been in that situation. When you have fouls to give at the end, it's like, wow, we've only committed 2 fouls, whatever. Then you can be more aggressive defensively when you have the fouls to give as the game gets tight. That's a huge advantage. When you start blitzing, it's like, yeah, trap. And if you foul them, it's okay. We got a couple to give there. Huge advantage.
Yeah, huge advantage. And one thing I'm seeing is the coaching staff take advantage of whatever it is they can, whether it's the foul situation you talked about. How about Keegan Murray, too? I thought Keegan played a hell of a game. Every time Steph Curry guarded Keegan Murray, Keegan went at him. Like the Warriors were trying to hide Steph defensively on Keegan Murray, and Keegan wasn't having any of that. Like he put his head down and got to the basket. I like that from young Keegan Murray last night.
Yeah, and then finally, and I know we've talked about it, we'll be talking about it for a long time, because I think DeMar DeRozan, his third quarter, that has to be one of the great quarters in Sacramento Kings history. I can't imagine there are many more players, and there's probably one or two, C-Webb or somebody. I can't imagine there's many players who had better individual quarters in any game than DeRozan had last night, especially considering how badly his team needed it at the time. 19 points on 7 of 7. That was a remarkable quarter, one of the greatest quarters in Kings history.
Yeah, and think about it. Whitey didn't miss a single shot, whether it was a three, a free throw, didn't turn the ball over, had a steal, had a couple of rebounds. And to your point, they started going to him. They were exploiting whatever mismatch, whether it was Guy Santos on him or whoever else they wanted to throw on him. And Buddy Hield was on him. And it's like, we're going to eat you up. And that's the luxury we have with DeMar DeRozan, man. We're not, and this was one of my things I pointed out last season. I felt like we were so reliant on the system that when the system broke down, we didn't have anything to turn to. Now we're not as reliant on the system, if you will. We got a DeMar DeRozan. DeMar, here, I'm going to put it in your hand 3, 4, 5 straight possessions, get us a bucket. And that's what he did in that third.
Which is exactly why he is a good fit for this team, right? Yes. We haven't talked enough about Domantas Sabonis. We'll do that when we come back. And let's hope this guy's right about Sabonis. Next, Drive Guy, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Sunshine, a light winds expected, highs in the mid-60s. Overnight, those will tumble back down to the 30s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The PGA Club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy with $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing or leasing. Some other offers must own 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Kings and Nuggets tonight. Tall order for the Kings against a team that's playing well. Denver Nuggets playing well. Always a challenge in Denver at altitude, especially when the Kings had to travel from Sacramento last night. Blah, blah, blah. That's enough excuses. Go on and win another game. Drapes getting ready for his TV duties in San Francisco. Here on the Chateau, we have this Drapes from Amadrock. Kings made some clutch threes. The one Keon made to take the lead was huge. In the lead and momentum shift. And after he made that three on X, I posted Keon cooler than Freon, and your boy Bonte responded to that and said, "You've been hanging out with Draper too much." So I just wanted to
Hey, why was Bonte trying to FaceTime me at halftime and texting at halftime and everything? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder.
You serious?
Yeah.
At halftime?
At halftime, bro.
Oh man, that's not it right there. Yeah.
I had to tell him. We were down 17, and I said, "I'm busy," with the smiling. He's like, "Good game. We have plenty of free time down here." And I was like, "Yep, all right." And then our boys came. I should have hit him up.
I didn't say what happened after the game.
I didn't hit him. I let him because he was doing his post-game show.
Man, you was calling the game. Doesn't matter.
Jay, when you up, like they're like a gnat on my back, a fly on my. I don't even notice them, bro. I'm not giving them the time.
You remember that when it comes to these Eagles and these 40. I'm gonna hold you to that standard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Amadrock also points out Warrior fans were leaving in our section before the game was over. Yeah, I saw that. It was like a 5-point game with a minute something left, something like that. And I was like, whoa, what happened? And they're just streaming out of there. I think they saw the writing on the wall and they didn't want to be part of, the beam, light the beam. They wanted to get out of there before they heard, light the beam, light the beam. A lot of Warrior fans, like rats off a sinking ship, Drapes.
Dude, that light the beam chant really bothers them. Like, it really hurts them to hear that. And I'm like, hey, we've beaten them now, guys. 4 straight times, 5 if you include the playing game last year. Yes, and so we're dominating them right now. We up on these guys right now. Like 5 straight games that actually mean something. We beat the Warriors. 2 in the regular season last year, 2 this year, and the playing game.
It must be tough for you when they play the Warriors because now you're probably thinking, guys, this is not a rivalry. We can't call this a rivalry until the Warriors actually start winning games again, right?
I know. I'm going to use that against them. Right? Well, their retort now is, at least we got the championship rings and all this. That's the only thing they can hang on their hat on now.
Yeah, yeah. Remember when we had Festus on? You got Festus on, and I asked him that question. And he went, he couldn't even answer it. And that was before last night. So,
it's funny because I was excited to get down here to San Francisco because I thought I'd see the guys, but they got a home game. So they're not in studio here. They're at the arena because I was going to talk my smack tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will FaceTime him.
You should FaceTime him. I'm just getting ready to say you should FaceTime him during halftime.
I think I will.
Pre-game.
Pre-game, right?
Yeah. JD209 says, real talk, that beam be giving Warriors fans nightmares. And Aaron says, #beam envy.
It will be lit in Sacramento.
I think a lot of fans of, if they're fans of other teams, they have that beam envy. It's a real thing.
It is. It's and we've heard players talk about it. That like DeMar talked about it. Before it, like they know about it. Draymond talked about seeing the beam from the hotel window during that playoff series. So it definitely bothers them.
Yeah. So in about an hour, we'll find out who the All-Star starters are. I think we already have a pretty good idea based on how the voting has gone. But before long, we'll find out who the rest of the All-Stars are. And, of course, we're all dying to find out whether Domantas Sabonis is going to be on the team. From The Ringer, Michael Pina wrote a piece today. He says the 24 players that should be All-Stars. And he has Domantas Sabonis on that list. Tell me if you agree with this from Michael Pina. And I believe we've had him on the show, right?
Friend of the show.
Yeah. He says, I'm not sure exactly why Sabonis gets overlooked in all-star conversations. Maybe there's something about his repetitive, undeviating production that doesn't get too high or too low. Maybe it's his subtle contributions. He leads the league in screen assists by a significant margin. Or the fact that his defensive limitations seemingly place a hard ceiling on his team's ability to win at the highest level. Who knows? Regardless, he's been one of the NBA's most valuable and consistent players on a team that fired its head coach last month after adding DeMar DeRozan to the fold in July. In an extremely competitive pool of front court reserves, Sabonis is the closest thing to a lock. How about that, Drapes?
Wow.
Yeah.
He said a lock.
Closest
like
thing
that.
to a lock.
I like that.
Invested well, Sabas. He knows me.
I like that. I'm looking at his list here, and of course they don't make it easy here. Like the way this story is written up. But I'm looking at his list here of starters, if you will, in the Western Conference. He has Shea, he has Edwards, he has Anthony Davis, Wembanyama, and Jokic. Okay. Now, the reserves, and this is where I disagree. I'm not sure if Steph Curry gets in this year. I know he will, guys.
Right.
But if it's not by fan vote and that as a starter, if I'm a coach, I don't know if I put Steph Curry in this year. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Front court, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Domas, Şengün, Jaren Jackson Jr. And then Jalen Williams is left out. So OKC, the best team in the association, is only going to have one guy. Yeah, that's right. And
sound like Şengün gonna be out and J-Dub gonna be in.
Yeah, that's that. Damn, Jay, that's what I'm saying. Somebody's gonna get snubbed. Long as it's not our guy, I'm cool with it. Like, I don't care. Whether it's Devin Booker, whether it's Norm Powell and James Harden, like Domas, to Michael Pina's point, should be a lock with the season he's having.
Yeah, he makes that point that, someone is probably going to get snubbed, but there's no way it should be Sabonis. He says the case against Sabonis basically boils down to his team is 500, which, well, they might be the worst team in the West without him. When he plays, whether Fox is on the court or not, Kings are pretty good. He is 9th in estimated plus minus and 4th in the league in estimated wins behind Jokic, SGA, and Tatum. Domantas Sabonis, the closest thing to a lock to make the All-Star team there is in the West.
Top 5 big in the game.
How about that, Drapes? That's nice to hear.
That's great. I mean, I'm looking at some of his ranks. You're talking about first in rebounds, first in three-point percentage, 8th in field goal, first and second chance points, 8th in points in the paint, like averaging 21, 14, and 6. I mean, this dude is doing it all. And so I'll tell you what, if Anthony Davis or Jokic or, whoever you want to name had these numbers, they would be a no-brainer in the All-Star game.
Yeah, it's interesting the point he makes. It's almost as if Domantas Sabonis is so consistent that it almost works against him because people just discount it because, he does that every game. Yeah, but it's still incredible. You can't take it for granted. And yet the less educated basketball fans around the country apparently do, unfortunately.
That this the thing I'm going to say for Domantas, and you tell me what you guys think is, because the Kings are kind of one of the hot stories in the league right now, and the All-Star game is literally within a couple of weeks, I'm hoping it's, not out of sight, out of mind, but insight in mind. So I'm hoping that because they're the darling right now of the NBA, or should be one of those, that coaches and people start to remember, oh, you know what, we got to get one of those guys on, because look at the run they're on right now. So I'm hoping that, that plays a part in it.
There you go, Drapes. He's going to make it, right? You're in
Yeah,
San
he's
Francisco
gotta do it.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
he's
talk to some
gotta do
people in San Francisco and make sure it happens? Talk to some of your Warrior friends?
Yeah, I'll do that, man. He has to get in. So today we find out the starters, next week the reserves, right? That's how it breaks down. So
Yeah. Boy, I'll never forget last year. We were very disappointed, but not this year. Not again. It's not going to happen this year. When we come back, Chris Marlowe's going to join us. He's the TV voice of the Kings' opponents tonight, the Denver Nuggets. So how do the Kings attack the Nuggets? We'll find out next on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Another calm day on Friday. Increasing clouds with morning temperatures in the mid-30s, afternoon highs near 60 degrees. Saturday breezy with some afternoon showers. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the 2nd largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Take a seat in the lap of luxury. Earn entries daily with a qualifying hand on your favorite table games. Then join us every Thursday for a chance at luxury watches, bags, and more. It all leads to our grand finale drawing on February 28th, with your chance to drive off in a brand new Porsche Macan. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the 2nd largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CRV, HRV, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The good news? You finally lost the excess weight and found the body you knew was hiding underneath it all along. The better news? InShape Fitness is here to help you maintain your new look and, dare we say it, enjoy the process. InShape has everything you need to build muscle and help keep the weight off. From fitness classes and personal trainers to swimming pools and saunas. Plus, plenty of full-length mirrors to admire your new self along the way. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
This is
Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center this week. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Kyle Draper, as I've been telling you, in San Francisco, of course, getting ready for his pre- and post-game duties tonight, the Kings and the Nuggets. You can hear the game here on Sacktown Sports. And our next guest is a very accomplished individual who has been an actor. He's a volleyball legend, and he happens to be right now the TV voice of the Denver Nuggets. We welcome back to the show Chris Marlowe. How are you today, Chris?
Well, thank you for that nice introduction. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good. And so are the Nuggets, of course, playing well. Just put up, as you well know, 144 on Philly. They've won 11 of 14. What has fallen into place for the Nuggets lately, Chris?
Well, good health really helps, as you guys know. Nikola Jokic was out for a few games on baby watch, and then he hurt his elbow. Murray's been out for some games. But maybe the real difference maker was Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon was out for 9 games. He's come back. They're utilizing him off the bench now, so he's coming in with the second team. Nuggets are 5-0 since he got back, and the bench unit is solidified. The Nuggets are not unlike the Sacramento Kings. They have a great starting 5, but the bench has been kind of shaky up and down all year. And I think the Nuggets have figured it out, but we'll have to wait and see as the games progress.
Hey, Chris, Kyle Draper here, man.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, my guy? Russell Westbrook, why is it working with him? And he's been phenomenal as a starter for you guys.
Yeah, I've been coaching him up. He's getting better and better all the time. Now, I think Westbrook, obviously he's a talent. He's been a great player almost wherever he's gone. But I think the last 2 stops in L.A., with the Lakers and Clippers, he just hasn't been used right. He is not the kind of guy that you stick in the corner and then you run a play or you dribble the air out of the ball and pitch it to him with 5 seconds and expect him to make threes. What he's really good at, he's a really good point guard and a much better passer than anybody knew. His passing to Jokic and Gordon and Porter and some of these guys has been spot on. The other area which he's a lot better than I thought is his defense. He's willing to guard anybody, from quick little guards to power forwards. He asked for the assignment against Victor Wembanyama one night, and that was hilarious. Wemby trying to post up Westbrook, and he just couldn't do it. So I think of everybody on the Denver Nuggets, there have been some really nice surprises this year, but I think Russell Westbrook has been number one. He's been too good to be true.
Catching up with the TV voice of the Nuggets, Chris Marlowe. Chris, I hope you'll forgive me. I'm going to ask you a very open-ended question, but I'm curious to see where your mind goes on this. When the Nuggets, of course, won here in December by 1 point, when you look back on that matchup, what stands out in your mind?
That Sacramento should have won that game. They had it, and they let it go. They were up by 10, as I recall, with about 4 minutes to go, and the Nuggets put on a rush, which they're really good at, and Sacramento just did not play well down the stretch. And then they had they ran a good play for Murray, who got the shot off, and then Sacramento basically couldn't get a final shot off in the last 8 seconds. So that was a game that Sacramento, I thought, just controlled the game from start to almost finish. They just couldn't close it out. So it'll be interesting to see tonight. I think with Doug Christie at the helm, it seems like, I watched the game last night on replay, and it seems like the team is running more, shooting more, having some more fun, and actually playing a little bit better defense. So I'm expecting high scoring tonight in the 120s, 130s, and I think it'll be a great battle.
Yeah, and last time we saw you guys, Jamal Murray, seemed like he was slumping a little bit, but he had that big game against us, fourth quarter. how has he been playing lately, and how much of his elevated play as of late is responsible for this solid play?
Well, the good news for us is that he likes playing against Sacramento. The last 4 games, he's averaged, I think, 24.5 points per game. So he's been playing really well. I think with Murray, it's all about health. First part of the season, he usually starts slow and then comes on. But he's had a history of like foot and ankle and calf and knee injuries. And when he has looked healthy, he's been great. When he hasn't, he's been a secondary player. But, when he's on his game, he had 45 the other night. And it looked like the old Jamal Murray. But the way the Nuggets are playing now, it's a lot of team ball. It's a lot of Jokic. Gordon and Porter are playing great. Westbrook, they're getting good contributions off the bench. That may be an advantage tonight for the Denver Nuggets. Who knows? They've got a couple guys coming off the bench, Julian Strawther and Peyton Watson and DeAndre Jordan, who've been playing great. So we'll see. I think it's been good. Murray is up and down, but you know what he can do in the playoffs, and I think this version of the Denver Nuggets right now is playing the best basketball of their season.
That's Chris Marlowe, the TV voice of the Nuggets. Chris, you're obviously focused on the Nuggets, but what have you made of the way the Kings have turned things around here since Mike Brown, who's respected and beloved, was dismissed and Doug Christie has taken over?
Yeah, it's interesting. I like Doug Christie. I actually called a number of his games when I was working for Prime Ticket as an announcer, a young announcer out in California when he was at Pepperdine. So I've known Doug for a long time.
Wow.
I think the Kings, they have parts. They have energy. Obviously, you got De'Aaron Fox. I love Domas Sabonis. He's the one guy in the league who's manly enough to take on Jokic and try to bully him and play him hard and get physical with him. And he can score and shoot threes now, which I think is a big help. The starting 5 is good. It's been kind of a miracle the way they've turned things around. I mean, just going from a team that was really struggling. I don't know what the atmosphere is in the locker room. I don't know what the issues were with Mike Brown, but when you're losing, the coach always kind of takes the fall. And it seems like Doug Christie has breathed new life into this team. And I really enjoyed watching the game last night. The Kings were down all the way, and then they made the run. I'm not a huge Warriors fan. I was glad to see them go into the tank, and I got a chance to light the beam.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, let us light it one more time tonight. How about that? Can you make that happen for us?
No, you're not going to light the beam tonight. This is our night. We're at home. You're on a back-to-back. You're on no rest. We're rolling. I think the Nuggets will get the win, but I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Chris Marlowe, thanks for your time. Have a great call tonight. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah. He didn't care for the Warriors, Drapes. How about that? Yeah.
I think the West is, every team's against the Warriors and Lakers in the West. I think we all got that in common out here.
He seems pretty confident, though. I mean, he says a lot of nice things, your team, this and that. Yeah. But when you pushed him on it, he seems pretty confident tonight.
And he should. I mean, they're playing great basketball right now. They're rested. We're getting in late. I mean, this is a tough matchup, man. And they beat us last time, and he even admitted, we should have won that game. They stole one from us, if you will. But this, he said it's a different Denver team playing. It's a different Sacramento team too, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're a different team. And so this is a team that Denver really hasn't seen. So I'm interested to see how we come out tonight. I know the legs will be a little heavy and everything like that, but man, if they could just muster some sort of energy, I think it's going to be a great game.
Pardon me for dredging this all up about Mike Brown again, but I think it's relevant because that loss to the Nuggets in December 16th, whatever it was, I mean, that was one of the blocks, if you will, that led to Mike Brown being dismissed. And some people last night, we were talking about it before the game, and I know that it looked bad the way the Kings handled it, and it seemed like it just happened all at once. But a lot of people, I know this is the company line too, it appears that the Kings really didn't want to fire Mike, and they couldn't decide. It's like, well, why did he run the practice, and then why didn't they just tell him, the night before? It looks, Drapes, like the Kings, there really was kind of a split on. They really weren't sure. Obviously, it's worked out, but it wasn't something that they were really all on board with doing at the time.
No, yeah. I mean, Mike is beloved, right? I mean,
yeah.
Think about it. Like, no matter what happens, this guy helped lead us out of the dark ages, if you will, and he should be, applauded for that. And that's the thing too. I 100% agree with you. That's a tough decision, man. Because we know he's a good coach. We know he's had success, but I think the expectations are so high for this group that any signs of cracks and everything, and it's like, the season is spiraling out of control. Think about it like this, Whitey. If you would have lost 5 in a row on the road, does Mike still maybe have a job? But because it was at home, it was so bad, the way they lost the games. Indiana, the Detroit game, it just became unbearable, and something had to be done. And it takes a lot of guts, man, because as well as I do, the Kings got roasted nationally for the way they handled the Mike Brown situation and firing. I mean, coaches from here and yonder were taking shots at the Sacramento Kings. It was a gutsy move, but for now, it's paid off.
Yeah, you're right. And I think there's still a lot of people nationally that assume that a lot of this is that, as we said earlier, that new coach bump. But I think anybody who watched that game last night has to realize it's not the first time the Kings have come under Doug Christie from way back to win. And there's something more going on than this new coach bump. And hopefully it'll continue when we come back. Yeah. Kings are a good road team, good enough to stay afloat through 17-23 on the road. That's next. Sacktown Sports.
Easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin D3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I've had my all-electric SUV for a little more than a year, and I continue to love it day after day. In fact, me and my daughter, we were just on vacation not too long ago, and we rented a car while we were on the trip, and my daughter said, Dad, I like your car better. I turned to her and said, honey, you know what? I like it better as well, and I couldn't wait to get back home to my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. At Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, they are more than just a dealership. They're a partner you can trust throughout the entire ownership of your luxury vehicle. Whether it's a refined C-Class or versatile SUV lineup, your perfect Mercedes-Benz is there waiting for you. Plus, right now, you can enjoy 3.24% APR for up to 72 months on certified pre-owned models on approved credit. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is your trusted partner in luxury and reliability. They've been doing it for more than 30 years. So head on down right now to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
Life is full of ups and downs, and there are some things that you want to go up and down. And when your garage door starts going up or down, but not both, well, guess what? It's time to do what we did. It's time to call National Garage Door, 638-4554. National Garage Door met all of our very high expectations with the way Daniel was the tech who came out, took down the old door, got the new one up and running in no time flat. National Garage Door has been doing that for a long time. They've been around since 1974. National Garage Doors they're very nice. They could do wonders for your curb appeal and your general sense of well-being. National Garage Door can also tune up your existing door, and they offer 24-hour emergency service. That's big. National Garage Door services all brands of garage doors and operators, residential and commercial. If you've got garage door problems, they've got the answers at National Garage Door. We could not be happier with our new door. You'll be happy with them too. 638-4554. That's National Garage Door.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST. After rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must own 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
It was a midnight game stop. I had to pull again back.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Drive Guys taking you to the bottom of the hour. That's when game night tips off as we get you ready for the Kings and the Nuggets. Before we talk about the Kings and the upcoming road trip, Drapes, there's some comments here that we must address in the chat zone. And I don't even want to name the names of the people saying this because it's fine, but I have a larger point to make. A couple people here saying, light the beam, nothing but a gimmick, light the gimmick. And I get that. I understand why people say that. But Jay and I were talking about this, and I think it was late in a show, one of the shows where you'd had to go and do some other stuff. I understand one thing. Fans are going to fan, and if you're a fan of another team, you're like, it's a gimmick. I get that. I think there are some fans that actually believe that, light the beam, that's just a gimmick. But if you really think that, I don't think you understand the significance of it. Because to me, the beam here, and Doug Christie spoke to this when he had the team up on the roof. To me, it's symbolic of the fact that the Kings, through 40 years of turmoil and through 2 very dire situations where they nearly left Sacramento, they're still here. And that beam is on top of a brand new, beautiful building. That's one of the best buildings in the NBA. And in Sacramento, we don't take stuff like that for granted. So when the Kings win and that beam goes off, gimmick, I guess there's some element of that. But to the rest of us, it's a celebration. Every time the beam is lit, it's a celebration of the fact that we still have an NBA team here in Sacramento. And our team means more to us here than your team means to you wherever you are.
That's a good way of putting it, man. And those people who, calling it gimmicky and trying to diss the beam, they just don't understand. I probably venture to think they're probably Warriors or Lakers fans or out-of-towners.
And that's fine. I get that. I get that. But it's like, you're missing the point.
Well, and here's the thing, Whitey. And I'm sure you've been there. Jay been there. Check out the scene outside of Golden One Center after a Kings win. And how excited the people are to run outside and take a look at the beam. It's a sense of pride. It's something to be proud of.
It is.
Gimmick it, you're not. It's ours. It's something we've embraced. And so I'll tell you what, if we win tonight, or, I'm not driving back tonight, but when I drive back from San Francisco or when I leave the arena, I look for it every time. And, it's been, what's this, year 3 of the beam? Doesn't get old to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the more the better, I say. The more the better with this beam.
Mm-hmm. The more the better for the Kings last night when it came to fast break points. Incredible numbers last night. Fast break points last night in the Kings win over the Warriors. The Kings had 28 and the Warriors had a grand total of none.
0.
Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Those are amazing numbers. Those are very rare numbers, are they not, Mr. NBA play-by-play announcer?
Yeah, I can't remember that kind of skunking when it comes to fast break points. It's like 2 separate games. Like the 2 teams were playing different games out there, if you will. And so, and that was a huge part of why the Kings won last night. They turned their defense into offense. You think Golden State historically, would get some turnovers and get some easy buckets, Steph Curry, a transition 3 or something, but none of that happened last night. Crazy.
Yeah. Doug Christie talked about the fast break points, pointing out that the Kings really dominated in that department in the second half.
Well, that's really who we want to be, is make, miss, turnover. It doesn't matter. Just right back at it. And to our guys' credit, I think in the first half, if I remember correctly, it might have been 5 we had at halftime. In the second half, we had 23. And that's the kind of gravity you want to have on a game. And you just keep going at them defensively. You want to keep the pressure. And sometimes you're going to be a step slow. And that's where other guys come in off the bench. They give you a lift the same way that Keon did tonight. And all of a sudden things slowly started turning as they turned the pressure up. And that's really, I think, how you get out in the open court and get bucket.
Yeah, Doug talked last night, Drapes, about how in the first half the Kings were a step slow and then the rotations were a little bit slow and they were getting sliced up, right? In that first quarter, the Warriors were just slicing them up. And it's the first time we've seen a team take the fight to the Kings that way since Doug Christie's been the coach.
Yeah, they were picking them apart, man. And you look at obviously the 14 threes that the Warriors hit in that first half, but I look at the 19 assists. That ball was moving. They had the Kings on the ropes there defensively. And so 19 assists for the Warriors in the first half. Second half, just 12. Much more better, much more like it. And so the switch flipped for the Kings in that second half.
And now let's see here. The Kings tip off of a 6-game road trip. Let's see. You got 14 of the next 18, 17 of 23 away from home, Drapes.
I ain't worried about that, Whitey. We're a better road team than home team, right? I'm looking at it as a positive. What did Doug say? He called it an opportunity, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, here is exactly what Doug Christie said about going out on the road.
Going out on the road is about the biggest challenge that you can face in the NBA. These teams are extremely good. The ability to win or lose is super small, and we got to take care of business. We got to make sure that we're ready to play from the jump. We're going to depend on a lot of guys, and we just have to go out and play our basketball. And if we do that, we give ourselves the best chance to win. And that's what I'm hoping to see out on the road.
That's about as weary as I've heard him, Drapes. He left it all out there last night. And I'm sure it's catching up to him a little bit. And he did a great job, but you can tell that it sounds like he played a game last night.
Dude, he had to coach his butt off in that one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it really is the first time too, Whitey, that I feel like Doug has had to burn several timeouts to get his group back together, And I know teams have made runs and everything, but the Kings were on the ropes, man. And it seemed like, several times Doug had to call a quick timeout and try and slow down the run. So I would probably say this was probably his toughest coaching job so far, where he had to work last night.
Yeah, but it's a great point, I think, because I don't know that Doug Christie's gotten enough credit. He's getting a ton of credit for the way the team has turned things around, but for the X's and O's and some of the things he's had to do in terms of not just motivating the team or simplifying things, but the X's and O's, he's done a remarkable job in a short time of coaching this basketball team, Drapes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give some love to those assistant coaches.
Yeah.
Too, because there was a stretch there yesterday. At one point, Doug is standing up coaching. Players going on, and Luke Laux came over, whispered something in his ear, and then gave him a pat on the butt too. Like little things like that. That shows me something right there. That they're all in. At least it looked like that last night. And so I think and somebody said it on either the text line or the chat earlier. Like the vet and management should give all these guys raises because they're coaching their butt off right now. Working out the players, the X's and O's. Think about it too, like this. Mike Brown gets ousted. The team is down and out. It could have kept spiraling that way, Whitey. Like it could have been very easy for it to keep spiraling that way. But credit to Doug and also the players and also the other assistant coaches too. Like coming together and saying, you know what? It sucks, but we still got 50-something games left to go.
Yeah.
The season's not over yet.
Yeah. We've talked so much about the team and the win and the upcoming game, and we'll talk a little more about that, but we haven't talked enough about you, Drapes, the night you had last night and then the turnaround driving down to the Bay Area. How was your evening calling the game, and how was your trip down to San Francisco last night or today, whenever you made it?
What, somebody giving you some inside info or something like
that?
No,
I know there's always a story there with you.
Dude, your boy is gassed, man. I'm gassed. I'm tired. All right, there is a story. You want to hear this real quick?
Yeah, I knew there would be.
So from Folsom to downtown Sacramento, it's about hour and 50 minutes, let's say, hour and 45. Usually I could do it just like that. But I was so tired today, Whitey. So tired today. I pulled over at the rest area and closed my eyes for 10 minutes.
Really? The one right by Vallejo there, looking out over the. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one on the right. Yep. I pulled over for about 10 minutes because literally I was like, kind of falling asleep, at the wheel. And so I'm gassed. And then I got to go to New York. Dude, don't get me started, man. You're pushing my buttons now.
I hope you had the doors locked. Falling asleep in that place. I hope you had the doors locked. Right?
Doors were locked. Yeah, I thought
good.
about that. I slept with one eye open out there. But yeah, so I'm gassed, man. I'm tired. But come 5:30 when we do our pregame show, I'll be ready. I'm on with Mike Bibby tonight, so should be fun. You know what's interesting? And I'm gonna ask Mike. Mike saw the picture of De'Aaron Fox's finger.
Yeah.
And he said, quote, "My finger is the same way."
Really?
Yes. Mike Bibby yesterday texted me and said, I'll pull it up. He says, my pinky is the same as Fox.
On the shooting hand?
Yeah, it looks like it's on his right hand.
Wow.
And I said, did you play with it? He said, yep. He said, compared to some people's hands, mine look good, though. So I guess that's a thing out there.
Yeah.
But he played through it, he said. He just played with it.
So you got your TV duties, and then you got that quick turnaround to the Big Apple, huh?
Got to fly to New York, man, and you trying to get me fired up. I see what you're doing here.
I'm not. That's exciting. Alan Stiles asked me, is he going to be able to swing by? Is he going to make, a Philly stop and see family there? And we're just wondering about your trip.
I thought about it. My mom got a doctor, so I might go down to Philly. But the problem is we play the Knicks on Saturday, White.
Yeah.
I'm on the call for that. Always enjoy being at Madison Square Garden.
The God.
I'll be fired up. Cat, Brunson, all those guys. It'll be awesome. See my boy Tibbs. But then we play Brooklyn on Monday. Who's on the call for that game?
I don't have the schedule in front of me, Drapes.
It ain't me. So I'm flying back to San Francisco Sunday.
Yeah.
Spending the night in San Francisco to do pre and post on Monday. And so I looked at the schedule, man, and in February, outside of my vacation days, because I'm taking some time off during All-Star break.
Yeah.
But I think I got one free day, one free night in the month of February. Dude, the travel is it's brutal, man. I ain't even first class either, bro. Come on, Jay. I ain't even first class, man. Shoot.
Now, you don't have to answer this if you want to. I won't get you in trouble. Is that a NBC thing or is that a Sacramento Kings thing?
First class or
the fact that you're not first class?
That's a Sacramento Kings thing. The travel itself is an NBC thing.
Sure.
Because they make the schedule for Mark. And so they give me extra space, business class, extra 6 inches of leg room. But I'm like, it's brutal, man. First world problems, I know.
Yeah.
So if I take a day or two off next week, you'll understand why. I'll be gassed.
Because you didn't get the extra leg space?
Because I didn't get the extra leg space. So you talking about this 17 and 23 games and everything like that?
Yeah.
What about your boy? What about, you know what I mean? What about my struggles?
You got a tougher road trip coming up than the Kings road schedule coming up here? Okay.
Easily, bro. Easily. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Because here's the problem, Whitey. So Monday I'm doing pre and post game here. But then Monday night I'm going back to Folsom. I'm off Tuesday, got to hang with you jokers in the studio. Then Wednesday I got to come back down here to San Francisco. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Exactly
I'm about to say
what you're doing.
You definitely are.
Whitey brought it up, big fella. It wasn't me. He brought it up. I'm just trying to get my Draymond on here.
Well, what do you think of this upcoming trip for the we know what you think of your upcoming trip, but for the Kings here, this stretch, I know we've talked about it, but now it starts tonight. Nuggets, then the Knicks, then the Nets, and the Sixers, and the Thunder, and the Timberwolves. Just if we're being honest, will we be happy? Should we be happy as Kings fans with a split on those 6 games?
That's a good question. Let me think. You say a split 3-3. I'd be happy with 3-3.
Yeah.
I'd be happy because when you look at it, they only got 2 games against teams that aren't really doing too well. And I'm talking Brooklyn again and Philly.
Yeah.
So if you go 3-3, that means you will have either beat Denver, Minnesota, OKC, or the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Very good win. If you go 3-3 this road trip, that'll put you at what? 26-23. I'll take it. I'll take it, dude.
Mm-hmm. We talk so much about back-to-backs and how tough they are, and they are, but it's also tough when you have so many games in a short stretch there, right? Because you play today and then Sunday, and then you play 2 days after that, you play the Nets, and then 2 days after that, you play the Sixers. That's on the 29th. Then you got the Thunder on the 1st of February, and then at Minnesota on the 3rd. So it's not just being on the road. It's a lot of games in a short period of time there. It's going to be tough.
It really is. And then you come back on that Wednesday after the Minnesota game, which is a Monday. You play Orlando, then you go back out on a back-to-back to Portland.
That's right.
And so it's I'm just hoping this team gets to the All-Star break playing well, good vibes, so that they can sort of hit the reset button, rest up for the stretch run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Drapes, I want to see what you think here. Whitey's wish list for tonight. The Kings, and the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, the last time they played, it was a great game. The Kings kind of gacked one down the stretch, still could have won 130 to 128, I think. Let's see what the Kings can do to avoid that happening again. Number one, I would say, Drapes, don't let Jokic beat you with his passing. I'm just thinking of the way, Giannis had such a big game against the Kings, and he had 13 assists, I think.
Yeah.
So, because the Kings they're focused on him and turning their heads. So I think, and Chris Marlowe said it, Domas is one of the few guys that has a chance with Jokic, just straight up. So the other guys, you don't want to overhelp, turn your head, and then lead to the Joker and throwing those incredible passes, right? So don't let him beat you. He can beat you a lot of ways. Don't let him beat you with his passing. What do you think?
I like that, because if he beats you with his passing, that means the others are getting going. You know, the Murrays of the world, the Westbrooks, the Gordons. You know, I agree. If you can hold him to like 8 assists, like 7, 8 assists, I'm okay with that. I think that's a good night.
2, don't pretend that DeMar DeRozan can guard Aaron Gordon. And I know now we have Keegan. That was.
I think that experiment. They realize if we see that tonight, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
And as Jay pointed out, and you pointed it out, Keegan didn't play in that game, so you have other options. But and the Kings still came back from that and still were in position to win that game. Then thirdly and finally, it'd be nice. And I know he's got the bad finger, and I understand why he may be struggling, but get a big night from from De'Aaron Fox. He had 29 the last time they played. And, you know, some of your best players are going to be a little road weary, and he played a lot last night, but a big game from De'Aaron Fox to go a long ways towards putting you in position to surprise the Nuggets tonight.
Hey, I like that. I like that wish list because here's the thing. Your stars got to play like stars tonight against better competition on second night of back-to-back. Like, when you're a superstar, when you're a star like De'Aaron Fox, you don't get the luxury of having it's the second night of a back-to-back or, you know, it's altitude. Like, stars play well no matter what, right? No matter, you know, home, road, it don't matter. So I like your wish list tonight for De'Aaron Fox.
All right. Thank you, Kyle Draper. Appreciate that. And of course, Drapes. Who's on with you tonight? Mike Bibby's on with you tonight,
my guy,
right?
Mike Bibby. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
I think Mike's doing all these, at least these next 3 road games. I think he's doing. So yeah, my guy Mike is here.
Can you believe
I'll
it?
have him show his finger. How about that? I'll have him.
Yes. Yeah. Can you believe it? As we discussed earlier, that right now the Kings are 7th in the Western Conference, just a game out of the 5th spot. They're they're still 4 out of the 4th spot, but that's the Nuggets holding down that 4th spot. So it's going to be really tough, but it'd be a huge win tonight.
Yeah. And never a doubt in my mind, Whitey. Never a doubt.
There we go.
And here's the thing, too, man. And I know it's going to be tough to catch Denver. 4 games. Oh, we just made up like 6 games in the last 5 weeks. We can make up 4, like starting tonight and getting a win. And I'm looking at the Lakers. They got Boston tonight. I'm looking at the Clippers. They just lost last night. I don't think these teams are ascending. The Clippers have lost their last 2. Them and the Lakers 5-5. By All-Star game, we could be a top 4, top 5 team in the Western Conference.
The hot teams in the West right now, Memphis has won 4 in a row. The Pelicans have won 4 in a row. Then after that, you got the 2 teams that collide tonight in Denver. The Nuggets have won 3 in a row. And, of course, the Kings have won 3 in a row. And what is it now under Doug Christie? Is it 10 of 12 since he's taken over?
10-2, big dog. And we throwing out that first game because that was the Lakers game. He had just got the job. And things were weird back then. So 10-1 in my opinion.
All right, Drapes. Before we let you go and get ready for your TV stuff, you have any thoughts today on the one thing that we haven't talked about, the deadline, potential deals for the Kings? Have you got any new thoughts or any information on what you want to see the Kings do or what they should do?
How about this, Whitey? And it's going to sound lame. Just improve the roster.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be Cam. It doesn't have to be Collins. But go out there and get somebody that can contribute night in and night out. Upgrade the roster with a rotation player. Even if it's Bruce Brown, I'll take that right now. Like, give me somebody that can play night in and night out, bro.
Yeah, because the one thing I think we know by now, we're still not sure where this is all going, but the way they continue to play well and come from behind, this is a team that has a chance to advance in the postseason. So take advantage of this opportunity. Make this team better. Make sure you check out Kyle Draper pre- and post-game tonight, NBC Sports California. Of course, be listening for the Kings and Nuggets here, the G-Man with a call. Drapes, we'll talk with you, I guess, on Monday, right?
Yeah, I might try and call in from New York. Got to get that Drapes take in tomorrow, big dog.
Nice. All right, we appreciate that. Have a good broadcast. Stick around. We got game night next with the High Flyer and Scott Marsh next. Game night, Sacktown Sports.
Pass that, dribble that. Pass that, dribble that. Big points, big stats. Pass that, dribble that.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Another calm day on Friday. Increasing clouds with morning temperatures in the mid-30s, afternoon highs near 60 degrees. Saturday breezy with some afternoon showers. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Play and win to take your loyalty to new heights at Sky River Casino. Join Sky River Rewards today for a chance to receive up to $2,500 in free play. Plus, you'll be in the know about upcoming special events and offers. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun with rewards that add up and up. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit us to see how. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Happy New Grill. Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat as we did on Christmas Eve. Bring out all the flavors of the new year with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Whitey and Napoleon Grills wish you Happy New Year. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Make a smarter resolution this year. Grab the keys to a new Toyota hybrid and turn everyday drives into exciting adventures. Now is the time to shop great deals. Choose between 16 Toyota hybrid models from the longest lasting brand on the road. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Go further with more MPG in a new Toyota hybrid.
Grab the keys, come on, let's go.
Toyota, let's go places.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Something amazing is happening when power outages strike. Teams are powering through them. That's because CDW Solutions architects are building more resilient IT and electrical infrastructures with Schneider Electric. With EcoCare remote monitoring services and 24/7 support, your organization can do more than keep the lights on. Schneider Electric and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Schneider Electric.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time for game night, getting you ready for Sacramento Kings basketball.
He's got the bucket!
Game night is presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And a very pleasant good evening to you. Welcome into Game Nights. I'm coming to you live from the University Credit Union Center here on the campus of UC Davis. UC Davis basketball playing tonight as well. Of course, we got the Kings coming up at 6 o'clock tonight as well. On the road in Denver, they take on the Nuggets. The High Flyers back at our Sacktown Sports Studios. I think we're still riding the high of last night, that tremendous win versus the Golden State Warriors. The Kings winning their 7th straight at home last night, 123-117. What a ball game for the Kings as Doug Christie continues to be undefeated at home. But tonight, it starts for real in a way. 17 of the next 23 on the road. And High Flyer, the Kings have the toughest challenge in the NBA, I think. A second night of a back-to-back in Denver against a Denver team that's playing as good as anybody in the NBA right now.
Yeah, when you talk about traveling, it's one of the hardest trips to make, especially like you say after a back-to-back where you played major minutes in California on your home floor against a team that's want to go up and down. The Kings definitely had a high-pace, high-octane type game to play, and then you finally get done. You take a shower, you do a little media, you run to the airport, jump on the plane, fly all the way to Denver. You lose an hour. Once you probably sit down in Denver, you might get there 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then understanding you probably have shoot around at 10. So, yeah, going to be one of the hardest trips in the league to make.
And we'll get into all of that. We'll be with you until 5:30 today, getting you ready for Kings Live pregame. 6 o'clock tip, G-Man with the call. If you want to join us, you certainly can. You can give us a call at 916-339-1140. We're up and running in our YouTube as well, right there at Sacktown Sports. Join us in the chat room. Give us your thoughts on that win last night, everything Kings related, and, of course, the game tonight. Henry, that was a fun one last night. The first half, maybe not so fun. The Kings got down by 17 at the half, 65-48. Doug Christie had to kind of wake up the troops at halftime, but boy, did he ever. The Kings made up the entire deficit in that third quarter. DeRozan had over half of the Kings' 37 points. Debo with 19 in the third. And then the Kings closed it out in the fourth. Really a seesaw affair. The Warriors would make an 8-0 run. The Kings would make a 9-0 run. The Warriors came back with an 8-0 run. But at the end, the Kings able to get that one. And how fun was that last night at Golden One Center?
Well, Scott, I'm going to go back to this. First half, not so much fun. Because, I honestly thought the Golden State Warriors did exactly what they wanted to do. That was to come into G1 and really try to set the pace. The only way the Golden State Warriors were going to be able to even compete with the Kings is that they were going to have to outshoot them from three. And they were going to make it a 3-point game. And the way you do that is that you kind of try to lull teams in to shooting just like you do. You leave them open, hoping that they're going to take the easy three, the first three that they catch, into where y'all can go up and down, and whoever has the best 3-point shooting team, that's who wins. And, that's the way that first half was played, and Golden State was successful, and they were winning.
No doubt. And they were shooting the three ball well, and they did throughout most of the night. I mean, they ended up making 22 threes on 48 attempts. The Kings only had 11, and really that was what was giving the Warriors their lead and, eventually keeping them back in the ball game because the Kings dominated almost every other stat.
Yeah, they really had to shoot the ball well from three, and they did. But the Sacramento Kings did do the other things well, and that was one of the main things that I was happy to point out in the post game. The rebounding game, the Kings excelled. The fast break points, the Kings excelled. The second chance points, they dominated. Points in the paint, they dominated. Free throw line, they dominated. That was the reason why the Kings won that basketball game, because if it just came down to three-point shooting, it was over with. The Warriors were going to win.
Yeah, they were toast. And there's not many NBA games where you really see a team giving up 33 extra points on that three-point line and winning, but that's exactly what the Kings did. They made up 21 of those points on the line. And again, this can't go overlooked, but the Kings' free throw shooting this year is so much better than it has been in the past. 93.8% from the line last night, only missing 2 of them, and that was huge for Sacramento.
Scooter, people always wonder, they're like, what has changed? What has changed to where this team is being so successful now? It's the exact same thing when you ask about what happened at the free throw line. What did you change? You haven't changed anything. You haven't changed anything. It's still the same free throw line. It's still the same people shooting the same free throws that shot poorly the years before. So what happened? It's their belief. It's their focus. It's their attention to details. They have bought in and they understand that this is the way you're going to overcome things. So now you're starting to see a better free throw shooting team.
No question. Free throws were huge. Fast break points were just remarkable in this game. The Kings had 28 fast break points. The Golden State Warriors did not have a single fast break point in the game. In the second half, it was 23-0 Sacramento. Boy, did they turn up that defense and get out and run.
They turned up the defense. Doug went to some gimmick defenses. He went to a little zone for a while. And one thing that really just puzzles me now, Scooter, is that how NBA teams can go to a gimmick matchup zone, or just say a boxing one or a 2-3-2 zone, and it throws professional players off for like about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, fellas, I know all of y'all played in elementary school. That's all we played was zone. So I know you know how to break it, but it always throws the NBA team off for like about 2 or 3 minutes. And if you listen to Doug, that's really all you want to do. You want to throw that zone out and try to get maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 turnovers to where you can get back into the game.
Yeah, and great credit to Doug for kind of junking up that game a little bit. Not only did he go zone at an opportune time, but the blitzing of Steph Curry was great. I mean, he forced Steph into some uncharacteristic turnovers, the team overall. And that's always kind of been one of the bugaboos about the Warriors. Even in their great days, they turned the ball over higher than a normal rate. They had 19 turnovers last night. The Kings only had 8 turnovers, and that was also just critical in the win.
Big time. I mean, the thing about it is that defensive scheme was put in last time the Kings played the Warriors down in Golden State. They did the exact same thing because it was very successful. Whenever Steph Curry gets ready to come off a screen, you read him, you double team him, you blitz him, get the ball out of his hands, because really, and specifically last night, if it's just one guy on that team that can beat you, it was Steph. So you blitz him, get the ball out of his hands, and let's see if some of these other guys can beat you.
No doubt. What a great job by Keegan Murray and then Keon Ellis taking on that assignment against Steph Curry. And, at one point, Steph was so frustrated, he took a 38-footer.
Yeah, he did. I seen
almost
that.
With it. And for Steph, I mean, any shot's a good shot. So,
right.
I mean, that's within his normal shot rate. So I can't call it desperate by any means, but you can tell the frustration building with Steph Curry. To his credit, he had 12 assists. He was moving the ball, but, I mean, it was blitzing defense against him last night.
Scooter, if you have to choose which one you're going to let Steph be, are you going to let him be a scorer or are you going to let him be a facilitator? Yeah. You much rather have him trying to facilitate, because if you let him shoot the ball, he has so much talent to where he's going to win every single time. But if you make him get off the ball and make some of them other guys shoot, well, they might not shoot the ball as well as Steph. That's what the Kings were banking on, and that's what won.
No doubt. All right, let's get into DeMar DeRozan. He had Sacramento High 32 points last night. He took over in that third quarter when the Kings needed him the most. He was 12 of 21 from the floor. He had 3 3-pointers last night too, which was a great sign. Finished with those 32 points, and really, he was the guy who got the offense going last night.
Oh, Scott, let me say this. Third quarter, big dog Debo stepped up, and did the Kings need him in a bad way? You talk about in case of emergency break glass, that's exactly what happened. The Kings were down. The Kings had to find a way to get back into this game, and I'm telling you, DeMar DeRozan came out and he put that team on his back in the fourth quarter. The dude gave you 19 points in one quarter. That's huge.
Yeah, no doubt. And the other thing that was so telling, his plus minus last night was 26. The next nearest King was 11 with Sabonis.
Right. I mean, and Sabonis had a serious double-double.
He did.
So that
26 and 18.
Right. That just goes to show how needed this dude was at the particular time when he stepped on the accelerator. They needed that right there, Scott, is the number one proof of why they brought this dude to this team.
Yeah, no, really, really starting to fit in, looking comfortable. Now, you could also say with De'Aaron having an off night, DeMar had more room and he was more called upon to get those points, which is true. De'Aaron was 2 of 11 last night. Obviously, I think his hand is bothering him. De'Aaron's not a guy who's going to talk about it very much, but that pinky is certainly out of whack right now. It's taped up, and it's on his shooting hand, and that has to bother him.
I don't know how much is bothering him, Scott, but I will say this. Last year we didn't have a DeMar DeRozan. So can you imagine that game last night without a DeMar DeRozan? Do you think it would have been a different outcome? No doubt. Because De'Aaron wasn't going. He was struggling. For what reason? The shot just wasn't falling. So if you didn't have a DeMar to come in and give you that third quarter heroic type play, you're losing that game.
No doubt. And the Kings ended up shooting over 50% from the field, 37% from 3, and 94% from the line. Those are winning numbers, and turning it over only 8 times. Terrific job there. They get the win against Golden State. And again, back-to-back, wins the last 2 times against the Warriors. The Warriors team that's now 21 and 22. The Kings are 3 games over 500 now, 23 and 20. You never know with the tiebreakers how that might look between these two teams. No doubt about it. It can only help in terms of positioning for the playoffs. The Kings right now are in the 7th seed in the Western Conference, just on the playoff outside looking in, but solidly in a play-in situation. They're a game back of the Clips, a game and a half back of the Lakers. And right now the Nuggets are in 4th place in the Western Conference, 27 and 16. We'll talk about the Nuggets throughout the next few segments here. They're winners of 8 of 10. They've won 3 straight. Game night's underway here. A High Flyer back at the Sacktown Sports Studios. I'm out here at UC Davis. A little Aggie hoops later on tonight as well. But, of course, the main event, Kings and Nuggets. Sacramento starting on 17 of 23 away from home. We'll talk about the road when we come back. It's game night right here. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry. You never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hi, this is Henry Turner. No one likes waiting. Sometimes, even minutes can feel like an eternity. So imagine if you're youth waiting for a mentor. It seems like years. Big brothers and big sisters of the greater Sacramento area need your help. More than 100 kids in the Sacramento, Yolo, and South Placer County are waiting for someone to defend their potential. Come on, Sacramento. Stand up. Let's do this the high flyer way. With your help, we can make this thing a slam dunk. Join us at bbbs.sac.org or call 916-646-9300.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-887-1010. 800-887-1010.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Start the year strong at InShape Fitness. Play basketball, try yoga or Pilates, or work with their personal trainers to create a happy new you. And look for Sacktown Sports Team before the next Kings game to grab your free Kings InShape Rally Towel. Join today at InShape.com. We are in shape. You are ready.
Ravished right now. Did not have Draymond Green. No Kuminga for a while. Pajetsky unable to go. We go down the list with them. No slow-mo either. What do you make of the Warriors and what you saw? Obviously, they were very competitive last night. They got off to that great start. They shot the 3 ball well. Certainly gave the Kings everything they could take and then some. But is this a team that can withstand all these injuries and keep in the fight here in the Western Conference?
I mean, are you talking about the Warriors or are you talking about the New Orleans Pelicans? Because they are in the exact same situation.
True.
I mean, everybody that you would think that they were dependent upon is out. You know, so yeah, you do have a Superman. You have a Superman on your squad, but at the end of the day, you know, Steph can only do so much. And when you're missing that many of those guys, and then a couple of guys on the team were sick also, you know, Looney was sick. GP2 was sick, you know, so
Looney, he didn't even play the second half.
Right. So
it
was crazy just how depleted the Golden State Warriors roster was. You've seen a bunch of two-way players and a bunch of G League players.
There's no doubt about that. They've got to get some guys back to try and make it work. Now, on the plus side for them, Andrew Wiggins is playing very well this year.
You know, Drew is playing better. You know, the last couple of years, he's had a lot on his mind. You know, shouts out to the Wiggins family. You know, Mitchell Wiggins, his dad passed away, and he was dealing with some other things that was in the family nature. So, you know, the dude had a lot on his mind. So hopefully all of that's over with, all that's behind him. Him and his family is done grieving to where he can get back to playing, you know, the basketball that we know how Andrew Wiggins can play.
No doubt. And I do think, I mean, the Warriors, if they do get healthy and Green's able to come back fairly soon and Kuminga comes back at 100%, I mean, they do have enough talent on that team. Guy Santos was impressive last night. Those 16 points off the bench, playing the post, gave them some decent minutes. You've got Schroeder, Trace Jackson Davis can give you some minutes. Moody can as well. You know, they've got a deep roster when it's all together.
Yeah, they have some pieces to move forward. But, you know, it just all depends upon, Scott, what's the mantra of the Golden State Warriors? Is it still championship or bust? Because if it's championship or bust, that crew that they have isn't going to get it done.
No, and I think Draymond and Steph realize that, and that's why they've come out with the comments of, you know, let's not get desperate and make a move to be all in this year. You know, it's going to take a couple of years. I think they recognize that right now.
Yeah, because this year, you know, let's say the roster, getting those young guys some playing time, getting them acclimated to the Warrior style, because, you know, they play very good Warrior basketball. The way they move the ball and swing the ball, it was very impressive. I was impressed at how the young guys play. All right.
I was as well.
So I can imagine when you have your main core out there, then you just got to sprinkle some of those guys in. Yeah, you're going to look pretty good. But for right now, if you're trying to win a championship right now, I don't think Golden State's in the running.
No, it's not a championship roster. I think that's fair to say. All right, for the Kings, they have to turn the page now. The great thing, Henry, of course, is that they turned it around at home. A winning record inside Golden One Center now 13-12, winning 7